Welcome all sports fans and everyone across the nation. That's right, y'all. We have episode 7 of Tuesdays with TJ. I'm your host, Carlos Clayton, with my lovely co-host, PJ. But we got the main man all the way from the UK doing it big. They call him TJ. We all call him TJ Tracy 2378. What's up, my guy?
What is up, everyone? I hope you're having a fantastic evening. Sorry for the delay. It's me, as you can see. New location, new Wi-Fi, technical problems with teacher.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. Everyone in the chat, man, keep the chat rocking and rolling, you guys, like we always do. We'll answer all your major questions towards the end of the stream, but obviously we'll be looking into the chat. If there's any questions we want to answer right in there, we'll just answer you guys. But keep the chat rocking and rolling, y'all. We had a crazy week 2 of the NFL, and I would say this, much more improved from week 1. Would you say so?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, it was actually fun.
Yeah. Some offenses actually showed up in this game, so I was very happy about that. Because boy, week 1 had me nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say dull because it's the NFL and it is back, so I'm happy about that. But as far as the entertainment value of both offenses scoring points, it didn't happen. So, but week 2 we had a lot more that a well balanced. I would say, week 2 for the most part. We had some good, we had some bad, and we had some just downright ugly, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you guys are having a great day. It is Tuesdays with TJ, episode number 7, you guys. Got a lot to talk about, but let's give a shout out to those in the chat early right now. We got Edward Jones. He says, haha, I know this video is later, but I just read that the XFL and USFL are in talks of agreement to merge. Oh, who knows?
Ooh.
Maybe that's big news. If it does happen, I'll be there for it. Generic Ballman said, hope all are well. What's up, Carlos, TJ, and PJ? What's up, Generic Ballman? Peter said, what's up, GBM? Fandarama says, early, delayed by 15 minutes. But yes, we are here now, you guys. We are here in the building. Got Card Craze says, made it all the way from Canada. Showing love. What is good? Peter said, hey, everyone. Edward Jones is like, okay, it's a kitty, aka Peace of Forever 24 says, what's up? He's in the building as well, you guys. Showing some love. Thank y'all for the love and the support. Keep the chat rocking and rolling, y'all. We got a crazy week 2. And we won't take a lot of your time, but you never know, man. Me and TJ, we get to talking, and it could go on forever.
Oh, definitely.
But we hope to not take as much of your time. We'll try and get through every topic as fast as we can. We won't make any promises, though. How about that? I won't make any promises, man. Let's see. We got more in the chat. We got the dog catcher says, college football heating up too. Will you touch on that? Not on this episode, but of course, you never know, man. You never know. I might break something down. We'll probably touch on some college things as we talk because we can go on to subjects like crazy. You know how we do. And Johnny says, of course, PJ is 32-0. That's right, y'all. We have our updated standings, man. I am team N through Z. I have a 1-game lead over TJ Tracy, who's 17-15 for team A through M. I am team N through Z with an 18-14 record. Of course, PJ, yeah, she's 32-0, y'all. She don't lose, man. Y'all should know this by now. PJ does not lose at all, man. JJ Sports Coverage says, hello, fellas. Let's go. Samuel Wickens says, what's up? Hello, uneducated PJ and TJ. Good evening. What's good with you, Samuel? Peter said, what's up, S-Dub? And what's up, the dog catcher? Showing love. Got Travis 303 says, Los, and the 2 J's, TMP, in the building. That's right, man. Thank y'all for showing love. Let's get it, man. We'll get right into it, you guys. We're such a positive channel. You guys know that, man. So we always got to go with the good first. Shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights is in the building as well, showing love. So we always got to go with the good first, you guys, because, good comes before evil, right? Right? But then again, I am one to say that without evil, there is no good. So, with that being said, hey, the 49ers had a big matchup this weekend with an emergence of the Los Angeles Rams we might talk about them as a whole later on as being a team to maybe look out for. Don't just give up on Matt Stafford yet as far as being a leader of men. But the Niners and the Eagles, and those are our top two teams. If you guys have not seen my week 2 power rankings, I had it on a couple of days ago. I had those the top two teams, Eagles and the 49ers. Well, they had some, let's call it tough matchups, man. I'm not even gonna lie. But I think those were good for both those teams. They need that kind of gut punch. TJ, my question for you is, man, 49ers, Eagles, who has the better 2-0 start?
I think it is the 49ers, and obviously coming from an Eagles fan, that says a lot. But 49ers seems like that well-rounded team. Defense is good, and so is their offense. Whereas the Eagles, they're struggling to get their offense going. They can't seem to throw the ball well. Jalen Hurts doesn't look that sharp, unfortunately. But I think last game they realized, we can just go back to running the ball because the row line is amazing. And you saw Swift had a career day, 175 yards on the ground. So hopefully that goes, okay, well, if we can't throw it because they're covering AJ, Devontae, they're like doing this cover zero kind of looks. We'll run it down their throat. And the moment what you saw in the game against the Vikings, the moment they go, we're going to stack the box then, that's Devontae Smith for a 56-yard touchdown, you know what I mean? So at the end of the Vikings game, I feel like the Eagles sort of found their identity for the season, whereas the 49ers, they just came out slinging. Their defense looked good. Brock Purdy looked like he hadn't had an injury at all. He'd recovered well, and it looked good. And obviously, I think we're a bit shocked on how well the Rams are. I think even the 49ers were a bit shocked on how well the Rams are performing. So that game was a lot closer. But I think the 49ers are currently the team ahead in the NFC, even over the Cowboys, because the Cowboys' defense does look terrifying, but their offense hasn't. It's wavered a bit, you know what I mean? Whereas the Niners just look solid. And they won that game because their defense took away from Matt Stafford, and Purdy didn't pull the ball over. He just looks efficient and well. And I just want to say, card crazed. It is very 12:46 a.m. here. Well, 12:51 here.
My man's a trooper, y'all. He's a trooper. Almost 1 o'clock in the morning out there, man. Yes, sir. And
Who needs sleep?
And we thank you for that, though. We thank you. Who needs sleep, right? But we thank you for that, though, for real. For making that sacrifice for us, y'all. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go to Philadelphia Eagles. I think their 2-0 start for me more impressive. Why? Because you had the best of both worlds. You played a really good stout Patriots defense in week 1, and then you played a really good Vikings offense in week 2. And you found ways to win both those games. As far as the Niners, they played a very ho-hum Steelers team, right? And a Rams team, we just don't really know how good they can be or how okay or mediocre they'll be, right? But divisional game, so I get why that was kind of a close game. As far as the Eagles, I love what I saw. I like the fact that, one, you still won those games, first of all. But a really good game against the Patriots in New England, and then a really good Vikings offense. Jefferson's over 140-something yards receiving, I think, in that game. And you still managed to kind of shut the Vikings down, right? Now, Vikings aren't anything to sneeze at. We know about that. But their offense is still top-notch. And I think the Eagles, look, you want that pressure. Being the defending NFC champions, you want that kind of pressure, and you got it. As for the Niners, look, still impressive, both teams. Still impressive. But if I had to choose one, I'm going with the Eagles, man.
Fair. And I did see someone saying the Eagles are currently the victim of their own success. The fact they didn't come out and immediately play like they did in the Super Bowl. People are like, it's a full season wash kind of thing, even though they are still playing well. Like, they had some adversaries. Our injury list is massive. We lost our starting slot corner to a torn pectoral. He's out for the season.
Yeah, that's tough.
No. That's Lions.
That's Lions. I meant. I'm sorry. All I heard was torn pec and went straight to Jonathan Gardner.
Avonte Maddox tore his pec at the end of the last game and he's gone, which sucks. But hopefully James Bradbury was new DC cross-trained him this off-season to be in the slot, and people are like, why are you doing that? We assumed for tight ends, and Thankfully, he did, because he can then move into the slot and we can have Goodrich or Ricks on the outside against Slay. So that's what
And
people
folks don't
think of Slay.
understand. They don't understand. Like, the NFL is hard. You're not
Yeah.
going to win every game by 20 points, right? It's just not going to happen. Like the Chiefs, I mean, you lose the first game to the Lions, and then you only beat the Jaguars by, was it
Yeah,
17-9 or something like that? Some in that area. But still, like, you're not going to just dominate every game. You get your wins early while you can, no matter how it looks like, and then you just get better as the season goes on, with the injuries, of course. So shout out to them, man. So you're going with the Niners. I'm going with the Eagles. But regardless, though,
Yeah.
both teams, hell of a start, 2-0. Let's go now. We had our matchup of the week, pretty much a very much thriller game in Detroit. Lions, their first home game of the year. And, man, the Seattle Seahawks. Talk about Jekyll and Hyde from week 1 to week 2. Seattle, they go into Detroit and they beat the Lions in overtime by a score of 37-31. How do you feel about both these teams headed to week 3?
Very good. Like last year, the Lions Seahawks game was very entertaining, and again, it came down to a pick six. Goff was cursed by the commentators. They mentioned how he hasn't thrown a pick six in blah 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 snaps, and then as soon as he said that, he threw a pick six. So that obviously swung the game towards the Seahawks' favor, but even with that, like, the Lions were there, the Lions could have won it, and there was a couple obviously missed calls, especially in the overtime, like the hold on Adrian Hutchinson that they weren't called, that would have negated the touchdown. But it was just a fun game, and the Lions are definitely there. And obviously, when it comes to the Seahawks, they've obviously got something as well going. Again, they lost to the Rams week 1. Again, no one expected the Rams to be as good as they are. So I think they were shocked as well. And week 1's crazy, isn't it? Good teams lose to bad teams. Last year, the Bears won against the Niners, and look how those teams turned out.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Never get too high and never get too low on any team, right? The Lions and the Seahawks, they're one of those two NFC teams that, like, they are highly touted as being one of the better NFC teams in a crazy right now NFC conference where there's a lot of undefeated teams that, okay, hold on. We've been dogging the NFC for so long in the last couple of years that they're saying, hey, man, we got some guys in there. Only a handful of maybe 2 teams, Dolphins and Ravens, are the only undefeated teams in the AFC, I believe. As the rest will be NFC teams, like 5 of them in the NFC, something like that.
More than 5. There's 3 in my division. There's 3 in your division. Like,
right. We got 3 in the NFC South now. It's courtesy of us beating the Panthers up, so we'll take that. Ain't nothing to brag about with our 2-0 starts with in the NFC South. Besides maybe the Buccaneers beating the Vikings in Minnesota, that was awesome to see that. But yeah. Seahawks and the Lions, though, like you said, a shootout. But I like the fact that the Seahawks got back to basics. We thought they would put up this kind of game against Los Angeles in week 1. They did not. But it was good to see Geno Smith not have that kind of a star hangover. Last year was his breakout season. And you're hoping he didn't convert back to the old Geno this year. And week 1, you kind of will scratch your head like, we got these weapons for you, Geno, and we just need you to continue to thrive with those weapons. It didn't show in week 1, but it showed in week 2. And it was a back and forth affair. And I love the overtime rule. I do, man. I love it. The first thing is the ball. If you score a touchdown, game's over. If you kick a field goal, you get a chance. Well, the Lions, obviously, they had some OPI calls and a bad call against Hutchinson, so that hurts and negates anything. But nonetheless, though, Seahawks still went down the field and they scored. They win 37-31. And I tell you what, this lets me know how wide open this NFC really is, man. It's gigantic right now. Like, anybody can get there, bro.
Definitely. I think we know, obviously, we know 3 teams that are going to make it, but it's fair game for pretty much anything else.
Right.
Even the Cardinals, which people were shocked about. Like, where did that come from? And then they collapsed like they should. Like, everyone expected to.
I think management called down, said, "Hey guys, we can't be beating up 28-7. We gotta slow that down. we can't win this early.
Yeah, we can't.
Tone the play calling down, please.
Yeah, we don't actually want to win.
We know what yeah. There's that escape button now. All right, what does this button do? All right, push it, because now it's time to collapse. Yeah. But we'll talk about that later. But yeah, but good showing though by both Seattle and Detroit. I enjoyed it. Both those teams are going to have these kind of games all season long, especially Detroit at home, where they play a lot better and a lot faster at home. And of course, Seattle looking to be one of those better teams as well, that's going to fight for a playoff spot in the NFC. So I have respect for both of those teams. And to continue with the good, let's go on to our next subject. We have a slew of 2-0 squads. I'm going to name these teams. They're on the screen right now. We have the Commanders, Falcons, Saints, Bucks, Dolphins. All that 2-0. I could name some other ones like the Ravens are obvious, and the Cowboys and the Eagles and the Niners, but they're obvious ones.
Yeah.
These are your non-obvious 2-0 squads. I want to know what 2-0 team surprises you right now.
Honestly, I think it's the Buccaneers, because I was a bit high. I've been a bit high on Atlanta throughout the offseason, so them going 2-0 wasn't a shocker. But the Buccaneers doing this well. Like, everyone was dogging on Baker Mayfield throughout all the offseason. All the clips you see as him missing wide open wide receivers, simple slant routes, and Baker's got Baker. But he looks really good, like surprisingly good. Looks like the Baker Mayfield from was it 2020? Where they made it all the way to the AFC Championship.
I want to say it was 2019, I believe.
Possibly, but he looks really good. I think he's currently actually outplaying Deshaun Watson, QB-wise, which must sting the Browns quite a lot. But they look well balanced. The defense looks really good, and they're gelling well. And I'm so shocked and a bit nervous because obviously the Eagles faced them this week. Hopefully this week he can return to the Baker of old. But
there you go. And,
it's the Baker.
Hey, I gotta agree with you. I got to agree. I'm going with Buccaneers. They're also my surprise team of the 2-0 squad. I really thought the Vikings would not really demolish the Buccaneers, but I mean. They were doing it because I thought, man, Baker Mayfield just didn't have the weapons. But I keep forgetting, Mike Evans is a stud. In 2 games now, over 100 yards receiving in both games. And he look, Evans can play with any freaking quarterback per se, man. My guy looks good. I wish I have him in one of my fantasies, the one that has no money involved, so I didn't even think about putting him in. So I'm like, phooey. But just for bragging rights, I'm going to start him now. But for bragging rights, but still. The whole nonsense of the NFC South is not that good. First of all, it's good to see both Falcons, Saints, and Bucks as an NFC South guy to be 2-0. But I'm going with the Buccaneers, though. I just didn't see where the offense would be enough, but they battled enough on defense. Mind you guys, although Brady is that dude for the Buccaneers back in the day, a couple years ago, I mean, you trade Baker Mayfield, you get Baker Mayfield in as your quarterback, but you have that same stout defense that never left. They never changed their defense. Their defense is still top notch, and we've seen that so far against not only obviously against Chicago's, but against Minnesota, 2 NFC North squads where they really handle business right now, and I'm very happy for the Buccaneers and happy for Baker Mayfield as well, because I kept telling folks. He's a good quarterback. Just put in some funky situations. And I was happy to know that the Bucs went all out, as my daughter's trying to show her face. The Bucs went all out and say, you know what? We're going Baker Mayfield. We're going to keep our weapons. Mike Evans didn't cry about having Baker Mayfield. He didn't cry about maybe the offense going down the tank this season. So who knows? All right, you were cute for a second. You got to get out of here. You can't just be hijacking the show. Hold on, y'all.
Oh, me and PJ. Hello. What's got Steels with family? How is everyone tonight? I hope you're having a great evening. Travis, yes, I am drinking on something called Icebreaker. This is solid okay. I found it in my in my brother-in-law's fridge, so he lost it with the privilege of me having to house sit. So his bit, my problem, my joy.
But so yeah, I'm very happy for the Buccaneers though, and I'm very excited for the Buccaneers and see what they can do. Except for when they play New Orleans
Yeah,
twice
of
a year,
course.
I don't want none of them issues at all. So yeah. She's always cute that her butt shows on the screen. Yeah, it's all good. Sorry about that, you guys. But yeah, so very surprising. But obviously, all these teams, Commanders, Falcons, Saints, Bucks, and of course the Dolphins. Dolphins, that'd be my probably not really surprised because they do have the offense when things are clicking. When you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on offense, yeah, those guys can really get things going. So, but yeah, we both agree on the Buccaneers, and
Yeah.
you know. I'm good with that. I like the Buccaneers though. I do, and the Commanders, big win over the Broncos. Obviously, winning against Arizona wasn't a big shocker, but to go into Denver and Sean Payton and Denver scored 33 points in that game, which is like not how Denver plays, right? And
I
for
know.
Denver to go and score 33 points, uh, and the Commanders to, first of all, come back down. We'll talk a lot more about that game later on. But for the Commanders to come back down from that margin to win, that really says some things. I like Sam Howell. I just do.
Good.
He looks
Yeah,
good.
he looks like the what the Commanders need, and
Right.
I don't know if this was obviously the Commanders did look good, like they were showing themselves, but was it Commanders outperforming or was it just Denver sucking? Because
No, I'm gonna say Commanders outperforming.
Yeah,
like the Broncos didn't do anything like drastically bad. I think the Broncos, like, the whole entire. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute, y'all. Let's go to the bad first. The bad first. That's not part of our bad. That's part of something else. All right, but we got the bad for you guys coming on. So if you guys want to see the good, just rewind it back, y'all. We broke down the Niners and the Eagles, broke down a couple 2-0 squads, showing them some love as well. And now it's time to go to the bad. And we got a lot to talk about with the bad. As it is always for the first couple of weeks of the year, there's always going to be a lot more bad than good per se on a week-by-week basis. And let me get my stuff talking. All right, we got a couple of 0-2 teams that are kind of head-scratchers to us. And I want to get your thoughts on a few 0-2 teams. Let's talk about the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Vikings. Are they in trouble? And to you, TJ, who is more disappointing so far with these 0-2 starts by these really good franchises?
See, this is very interesting because the Chargers this year, they've got Brandon Staley. Like, no matter how well Herbert plays, his coach is actually going to bring him down. Because his coach is meant to be a defensive mastermind. Where's the defense? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if Herbert plays out his mind, if his defense gives out more points, which is ridiculous. The Bengals look terrible. But last year they started 0-2 and then they made the way all the way to the AFC Championship. So it's sort of those situations where they're like, okay, yeah, this sucks, but we know they can come back from it. And the Vikings, they're doing what Vikings do, where normally it's they lose the games where they play well and come close, but just lose. Last year they played well or played average, and they just won those games. Even Kirk Cousins said, "Wow, we're playing terrible, but somehow we're winning." When normally it's, "Wow, we're playing really good, but we're losing," and it seems to have switched back to that. We're playing really well because Kirk Cousins. That wasn't prime time Kirk Cousins last Thursday. He was doing very well. He played enormously. It's just everyone else decided to drop the ball through the end zone. So he had an amazing game, still lost, and that's what's happening. Even week one, he played amazingly and still lost. So, honestly, I think it's the Chargers who's most concerned because they've seen this before and they realise, okay, Staley has to go. It's. I think their OC, who used to be the Cowboys OC, who's he called? I think he's going to be the head coach because he seems to know how to work with Herbert. But their defense is terrible, and how can you have a defensive-minded head coach
Right.
with
And
that
your
performance
defense.
on the field? Where the Bengals, like I said, they started 0-2 last year. I feel the crowds, okay, it sucks, but we can do it.
Well,
So
okay, I would agree with you, but honestly, I'm one of those guys. I just seen this happen. You know, I was the guy that picked Tennessee to beat the Chargers because I just know the Chargers. They're just the Chargers. I
yeah,
expected that to happen. I'm more shocked about the Vikings 0-2 start
really,
because you go from being a 13-4 team and a team that we all were joking about being 13-4, like it was a laughable situation. We're like, yeah, you're 13-4, but you're gonna lose in the first round, which they
yeah,
did.
and they did.
And they did, right? Yeah, I'm a 13-4 squad, right? To lose in the first round, that doesn't make any sense in my opinion. And they lost, and we all expected that, and they lost to the Giants, right? Well, didn't the Giants beat them? Am I right about that?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Giants beat them
yeah.
and then went
And,
on to play the
and
Eagles.
guess what? I picked the Giants to win that game because we're talking the 2 versus 7 seed. I think was it 2-7 or was it 3-6? I want to say it was 3-6. Weren't the Niners 2 or something like that?
Yeah, the Niners were 2, it
Yeah.
was 3
So
and 6, yeah.
so Vikings were 3, but still, it was like, bro, like 3-6. I'm going with the 6 seed because they're just better than the 3 seed, and you don't say that a lot in the playoffs, especially when you're a 13-4 3 seed. You think, oh man, that's you know, a dynamic team, a dominant team at 13-4. It didn't happen, no. So the Vikings, though, you want to right those wrongs. So you get your first game against Tampa Bay, although a really good defense, I understand that, but it's still a very unproven Baker Mayfield with the Buccaneers. And yeah, all you gotta do, and you're at home too. I can see if you're on the road, different, but you're at home, right? Crowd going crazy. They want this Vikings team to start off on a good note, and they lay a massive egg, only scoring 17 points. You knew that game against Philadelphia would be difficult. I get that because it's in Philadelphia, but you had your primetime matchup. Here's my thing: Kirk Cousins didn't play like primetime Kirk. You were right. He was awesome.
Yeah, it looks good.
Jefferson was right his wrongs from last year against the Eagles, where he went for a dud pretty much, where he was shut down by
Yep.
Slay. But he went for a buck 40, I believe. And the defense laid the most stupidest egg I've ever seen. You know, have you ever played Madden and they got that glitch
Yeah.
where the O line pushed the entire D line down? Right? It's always that rare glitch. That's what it felt
Yeah.
like for half of that game. It's like no one is putting any pressure. And the sad part was the Eagles got over themselves because of the whole A.J. Brown debacle with Jalen Hurts. So let's just throw the ball to A.J., which is kind of weird. But if they would have stuck to the basis of running that football, there was no way the Vikings were going to stop the Eagles at all. Run that ball. They're getting 5 to 9 yards per carry every time. And that is disappointing to say the least, because I'm like, dude, all right, so everything's clicking on defense in week 1 because of a weaker opponent on offense, but your offense doesn't show up. And then you get to week 2 where you're balling out of control on offense, but now your defense don't want to show up. I expect that from the Chargers. I knew that already. And as far as the Bengals, you're right. The Bengals are going to be right where they are. They're going to be a good team when it's all said and done. They're going to right their wrongs, play better football. We know that. They got a great offense, great defense. It's got to just gel. When it does gel, watch out. But as far as the Vikings, I'm like, what are y'all guys doing? All this talent on
Yeah.
offense. Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins is a fantastic fantasy quarterback. I would know I got him right now, and he is eating for me. But as far as wins and losses, he's not that dude, man. And he's kind of like, you kind of go as far as your quarterback. Man, it's kind of Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins and the Vikings. Chargers, sad to say this, but I just knew it. I just know the Chargers.
It's Brandon Staley. It's awful.
But the Chargers have been like this forever. Before Herbert, when they had Rivers as their
Rivers.
quarterback. Yeah, right. They've always been a team with all this talent, but just can't go far in the playoffs. Here's the shocker. Here's the stat right here I read. The Chargers are the first team in NFL history, first 2 games to score over 50 points, have 0 turnovers, and their quarterback go for over 300 yards in both games. I think over 250 in both games, no interceptions, and they lose both 2 games.
My goodness.
First team in
that's
NFL history. Right, and the NFL's going on for a long time. right?
Yeah.
They scored over 50 points, no turnovers, none, not a fumble, not an interception, and you lose both those games with your quarterback pretty much having good games, But it's more like and folks are gonna blame Herbert, and I don't see the blame, but there are some folks that blame Herbert for his late game heroics, I guess. But
I
I
think,
seen him in big moments come up. I think it's more of Staley.
yeah, it has to be because we've seen a lot of it. Was the week 17 Chargers versus the Raiders. Raiders win. When it gets into the playoffs, it was literally Herbert putting the entire team on his back. It's like 4th and 10, Herbert makes it. 4th and 9, Herbert makes it,
Right.
and he got all the way down to score the touchdown and take it into OT. And like the Raiders, admit they were happy for a tie. A tie lets them both in. The Raiders actively went, we're going to let this tie. We're just going to let us both go in because we played very well, and then stay that timeout, and that pissed off the Raiders, and then they won the game. It's Brandon Staley. He lets it go. He's not a good head coach. He's just
No,
not a good head coach.
it's not good. And we thought maybe he could right his wrongs from last year. So far, the ugliness is still showing. I mean, you lose to a Titans team that looked like an afterthought against New Orleans in Week 1. And
Yeah.
that team, you brought them, you gave them life. For some strange reason. I mean, Burks looked good, right? He was just dropping bombs by 10. It was crazy, right? Shout out to Jay is in the building. Mikey O also in the building. Shout out to you guys, man, for showing love. We got We the Gods in the building as well. Thank y'all for the love and support. We appreciate that. But yeah, so you're going Chargers, right? Were you going Chargers? Or you said Chargers?
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Okay, and I'm going Minnesota,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the bad, you guys. And this one is starting to get really, really bad now. Good God Almighty. Hold on, let me there you go. This guy here, oh my God. Let's talk about freaking Justin Fields, man.
Ooh.
Let's talk about Justin Fields, bro. I gotta talk about this cat, man. First of all, talk around town all off season, and even had me buzzed up to the point where I was reaching for this guy in fantasy. And thank God, some guys reached harder before me to get Fields. Oh Lord! Hey, quick story. I had a plan. This is my big money league, right? I had a plan. I said first round I'm getting Nick Chubb. Boom, all right, so I said second round I'm getting Travis Etienne. Got him, right? Third round I'm getting Aaron Jones. Got him. I said fourth round I'm getting Justin Fields. Man, fourth round came around and someone snatched him from me. And I was like, damn it. And I was upset. But now I'm watching. The guy that said, he was like, bro, what the fudge cake was I thinking? Hey, Justin Fields looks god awful for Chicago Bears. He looks god awful. And look, he played against the Buccaneers at home. On the road, I get that. But he played against the Packers at home. Both games, he looked horrendous. There's a shot all over social media. There's a still shot of Fields in the red zone. There's a tight end probably commit streaking the seam route. He's wide open. Mind you, it's a still shot. And you're like, bro, okay, he's going to throw it to that guy because he's just wide open. And the caption says, Justin Fields got sacked on this play. And I was like,
this ended in a sack.
What? So I looked at it, and I found he was sacked on the play.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, Justin Fields? This looks bad. I mean, I know folks in Chicago are livid because they're like, we just can't get the quarterback position right. This is the same team that passed up Deshaun Watson and went for Mitchell Trubisky. That's what Bears fans called him. Y'all. Bears fans called him Trubisky. I was like, whoa, that's good. I like that. I'm going to steal that one. But, yeah, so they just can't get it right, man. I mean, if Jay Cutler is known as your best quarterback per se, you got some issues in your franchise, man. But Justin Fields, how do you feel? Are the Bears done with Justin Fields already?
I don't know. Like, they were talking so much smack over the offseason. People were calling him better than Jalen Hurts, MVP talks.
Yes.
Like, he's going to be the next superstar. They're going to smack the Packers when they start, and he just looks terrible. But is this the situation where And the one thing they were talking is that they want Fields to be a passer, and you can clearly tell he's trying to be that passing QB, and he's not. He's a running QB. He's a scrambler, and by the time, because he's not used to passing, by the time he's made his progressions, which obviously he won't be used to because he's a scrambler, the pocket's collapsed and he's got no running lanes to then escape. I think that is a big problem with him, but possibly they might be done with him because there is like, oh, broken, move on to the next toy kind of aspect, which sucks. They might play out the rest of his rookie year, see if they can fix him. But he's just not good. He just doesn't look good. He just looks nervous. He looks undeciding. When he does run, it's just like he's running into people, not going for the gaps.
Right.
I don't know what's happened. It's just all of like the confidence and the ability we saw last year is just gone.
I think obviously physical. He's got it, man. He's got it. Physicality. He's got it. It is all mental for him right now. He's not going through his reads. He's panicking when the first read goes down, and he just, like you said, he's just real. I'm trying to say a word. Frizzle. What's that word? Some of the FR word. I forgot what it is, man. Frantic. Very frantic in the pocket. It's almost like the jitterbugs to the point that when he, like you said, that's a good call though. When he scrambles now, he's scrambling just to scramble, not with a purpose anymore.
Yeah.
He's scrambling just to scramble. Last year, at least his scrambles led to some big yardage, right? He had over 1,000 yards rushing out of that scrambling. But now it's almost like he goes to read one and he is just shot after that, and he just his instincts of running just gets to him now. Instead of running for a purpose or trying to run, it's just I can't explain it. It's just everything is gone mentally. It's gone.
Yeah.
And you gotta, if you're an OC now, you gotta, I call it KISS, keep it stupid simple. Now you gotta have timing routes now. Now you gotta have a pass with a purpose, right? Quick step, get out your hands really quick to the tight end, to the receiver. Maybe take some deep shots now and then. But I don't know how the hell DJ Moore got over 100 yards receiving. I don't know how that happened because he had pretty much all of the yardage. The Bears only had about 170-some yards of total offense the whole entire game. But it looked bad. And it's going to be a long, long year for the Bears if Fields goes up. And I'm scared that if this trend continues with this dynamic quarterback class coming out for the 2024 season, I'm telling you, if the Bears better not find themselves in the top 5. They got decisions. Do we keep Fields or do we go with the big dogs, coming out that draft? Because right now, I guarantee you, Caleb Williams is better than Justin Fields.
Yeah, they will go with it.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If the Bears somehow get the number one overall pick, bye Fields. They will trade Fields for a 4th round pick, like your guy from Trey Lance. They will trade him and go with their quarterback that they're choosing in the draft. It's not good. Now I'm not gonna push the panic button, but I got my finger on it. It's just kind of twirling it around. I'm just waiting for that moment, baby, because it don't look good out there. Ugh. But hopefully Fields gets together, man, because I'm really rooting for the Bears to be successful in the NFL. It's hard to root for a guy that just doesn't have it mentally, man. It just, doesn't have mentally.
Yeah, it is him getting his own head, and maybe just simply because they have put all these weapons around, and he's got all that pressure on Fields, it has made him triple think what he's doing. But yeah, they will draft a QB because this is his 3rd year. Next year is his 4th.
Yeah,
he's got a 5th-year option, but money will ramp.
Who knows?
Money will ramp up. Yeah,
Facts.
I reckon they'll draft a QB if they're in the number 5, whatever. Draft QB. Hopefully, let him sit behind Fields for a season. Let him learn. And then when Fields becomes an unrestricted free agent, bye. Let the starter. No draft.
Jesus. If I'm the Bears, you want to get some picks out of that, though. You do. I don't know about
know
about letting him be a free agent. You want some picks out of that. That's what the Niners did with Lance. They're like, nah, we can't let him just go like that. Oh, no. We got to get something. Give us something out of that, please. You know,
Yeah, that's true because they gave up the farm
I,
for fields, and it's
yeah,
been disastrous.
yeah, they had to get something out of that. Probably the worst news, the worst bad news we had, man.
Oh,
Monday Night Football, man. One of the best running backs, if not the best running back in the NFL. Nick Chubb went down with a nasty, gruesome knee injury. Nick Chubb is out for the season. That was very disheartening as we lost TJ, but let me get him back for a second, you guys. I'll keep talking though. We lost my guy Nick Chubb for the year, and I ain't gonna lie. If there was one time for me to want to cry, right? Want to cry for someone being injured, it was right there. Uh, One, not because he's in my fantasy, whatever, but I'm not even worried about that. It's just the fact that he's a great running back, man. And he's a great dude. And he's one of those guys that you just never hear about him in a negative aspect. Um and it's just saddening that this happened. One, to the Browns franchise. First of all, to the Browns franchise, I hate that it happened for him because honestly, in that particular game, the way things were going, Cleveland's going to win that game. Chubb's going over
yeah,
100 plus yards, probably scoring 2 touchdowns, and they probably beat the Steelers, by 10 points. Let's say that, right? Just the way that game was going. Uh, and then he gets the gruesome injury. And it is very disheartening. If you guys watch it with, obviously with a warning. His knee
yeah,
bends in a way that you don't want your knee bending at all. Uh, and
nasty.
he is clearly out for the year. That is a torn everything with that ends with L, ACL, MCL, PCL, whatever you want, man. He is done for the year. It's very disheartening because one, it's not the fact he's a great player, not just that, but he's a good human being, right? And I
Mm.
hate that. Just a guy that stayed to himself. He's the best running back, and you couldn't really tell by the way that people don't talk about him. We hear about Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, always because they have good teams around them. Whereas the Browns were the Browns, right? But Chubbs is that dude,
Browns.
man. And I just feel bad because one, the Browns were my surprise team, and they're my team that
Mhm.
will go to the playoffs, and they still could if they get things right. But that's a huge blow for Nick Chubb being out, man. How do you feel about that, TJ?
It was bad. It was really bad. Like it was so gruesome they didn't even play it on the replay. And when they announced it, it was like, yeah, we've been told it looks so bad, we're not gonna play it. And then they played it in the stadium. You just had the whole crowd just go, because bees, yeah, it like they haven't officially announced what it was. From what I see, but it was like definitely structural damage, all the ligaments torn, like surprised the leg's still unattached. But it was gruesome. It was nasty, and it does suck. It really does suck because you hear all the running back problems and all that kind of stuff, and like this week hasn't been good for the position. Like Saquon got injured with his ankle, and obviously the number one person of the running backs was Chubb, and now he's out for the season, which is not going to help the market even more. The
Yes, yes.
Did you hear about the NFL filed a grievance with the NFL
About guys faking
PA
injuries.
about potentially faking injuries to
Who
sort of say,
do
well,
you know who the actual target was? I didn't look
no,
into it. I'm
not a clue
trying to find out who
because
the target was. Who's faking injuries?
the only running back who has had problems, like financial problems, who have had injuries and not played is um, the guy from Indy,
Oh yeah.
uh,
Oh, Dad Taylor.
Taylor.
Who
Taylor.
had the
Taylor.
ankle injury, but is not an
Yeah,
ankle injury. Yes,
he's the one person who like is he injured? Is he not injured?
he's
Is he
not
just so
injured.
pissed with the organization that he doesn't want to
Yeah,
play? But
he's definitely not injured. I can guarantee you that. I thought that was just what him and the coach decided to say. Uh, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking out the box on that one, but oh my God, you're right about that. But you're right though, the market does go down because Nick Chubb. I mean, they're saying like this is why we don't pay you guys. You
yeah,
know, because of the risk of injury, the risk of being different after that injury.
Yeah, but it should also show the value. Like the moment Chubb went down, like the Brown season, but the potential for the Brown season dipped drastically.
It did,
So
man,
it
and it hurt my heart.
is one of those things like you don't want to pay because you're injured, but you're so vital for a franchise. Like the moment Chubb went out, like our chances of making the
Right,
playoffs
right,
dropped.
and it's they're in a weird market right now because the running back. I mean, Barkley, who's out for 3 weeks with the ankle injury, that's very tough too. But when he plays for the Giants, they're a totally different team when he plays well
Precisely.
from being out now. And they have, of all teams to play Thursday, the Niners. Come on, man.
Oof, that's gonna be
you
brutal.
know, but what I'm saying is that like it's like he's so like it's like Derrick Henry being out. McCaffrey being out, well, the Niners just continue to plug in running backs. Never mind, but but the Titans with Henry and
Yeah.
Chubb and Barkley, those guys are like the main guys. And the NFL's
Mhm.
like, we don't care because you guys, after your rookie contracts, you just like suck. And that's not those guys, but it's the majority of running backs, which make those guys' salaries look bad. That's why Saquon just got a $10 million deal, and he's like, yeah, I'll just get that. Although I'm worth probably 14 or 15 million. You
Oh,
know,
easy.
easily, yeah, because he has just as much an impact as McCaffrey has for the Niners, right? And McCaffrey, let's be
Yeah.
honest, McCaffrey's impact is less with San Francisco because they did shit like that without McCaffrey.
Yeah.
They've been good. Plug and play
Yeah.
running backs. They've been good. Now McCaffrey's obviously better than, let's say, Elijah Mitchell or like Hasty or Robert Mostert, who was with the Niners at one point, right? He's better than those guys, but still
Yeah.
they've won and been successful with those guys. So it's just tough to see
The
that for Nick Chubb. I hate it, bro. I hate it, man.
It does that, but yeah, like the Giants wouldn't have won that game on Sunday without
Oh,
Barkley.
no doubt.
No,
No
precisely.
doubt.
Like he's vital, and the fact these men aren't getting paid sucks because you're in such a brutal sport. Like Chubb was, I don't remember Chubb really speaking out about the market of the running backs, but that potentially could be his career over. Like, and he might he might he won't get the money he deserves. Like he's the thing that's kept the Browns relevant when Nick hasn't played well, when Deshaun hasn't played well. Like it
Right.
has been Nick Chubb on the ground. So it just sucks. It just really sucks.
It's all you can say, man. If I wasn't streaming, I would have really felt like super bad because that's a guy that he just don't deserve what happened to him. Like, he
No.
just come on, man. He doesn't deserve what happened to him. But what can you do, man? That's the NFL for you, man. And they say that the shelf life is not long, especially in the running back position. The shelf life for the entire NFL is like 3.5 years, right? For the running back, it's like a year and a half. So, if you talk about overall. All right, let's go with the ugly, the downright freaking ugly. And we spoke shortly a little bit about that Giants game with the
Yeah.
Cardinals, and of course we broke down a little bit of the Broncos and Commanders earlier. But that's the downright ugly that we just saw. These two teams blowing huge leads.
It's just,
And you wonder, like, who's it more ugly for? The Broncos or the Cardinals? The Broncos up 21-3 over the Commanders late in the second quarter, and it felt like things were going their way. And then we had also the Cardinals up 28-7 late in the third quarter over the Giants. Mind you, that same Giants team that lost 40-0 against the Cowboys and were down 20-0 at halftime against the Colts, and they come back and have a resurgence. It went from Jekyll and Hyde, literally, like Jekyll and Hyde, and all of a sudden they couldn't miss. It tells you how funny momentum is. But my thing is downright ugly by both the Cardinals and the Broncos. But who is more in shambles because of this? And if it is the Broncos, is Russell Wilson's job in jeopardy?
see, here's the thing: it is the Broncos because the Broncos are there to win. Like even though the Cardinals aren't, like I know there's no tanking in the NFL, but everyone suspected the Cardinals to suck. Like, everyone's joking, like, they're going to go 0-17, blah, 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 blah. But the fact they're playing as well as they are is, kudos to them. They're really well. And then I don't know what happened in the Giants halftime locker room. Like, maybe they had some of, what was it, Space Jam's Michael's secret
stuff. Yeah, the secret stuff.
They just passed around the secret stuff.
Give me that secret stuff.
Yeah, because they looked like a different team. They were a different team, and like Daniel Jones looked like the quarterback they paid the money to, and like the Cardinals collapsed into, okay, that's what we're expecting the Cardinals to look like. But then you've got the Broncos, and the Broncos have Russell Wilson, like this potential Hall of Fame quarterback, potentially Hall of Fame head coach, a stacked defense, a stacked offense, and they just suck. Yes, there was a missed calls by the refs, the face mask that forced Russ to fumble, that obviously allowed the Washington to score before half, and I feel sorry for Broncos fans. What a way to give them hope by giving them the successful Hail Mary and then a missed DPI on the 2-point conversion.
Right. And it was super obvious, too.
Yeah, it was.
That's the Sean Payton effect, you guys.
Yes.
God,
no history with bad DPIs.
Yeah, we got some bad history with that if you're a New Orleans Saints fan, man.
But I wouldn't put this down to Russell, this one. I feel like, especially the first half, Sean Payton and Russell seem to know what they're doing, and it was good. Like, the first half of that Broncos game, the Broncos were on top, they're doing well. Again, I don't know what made them completely collapse, but they look more competent this year with Payton than what they did last year with Hackett.
Yes.
So hopefully the longer the season goes on, the more they mesh, and I know they owe Russell Wilson a lot of money, and who knows, that might give him a third year, potentially draft his replacement if they're that high in the draft, and just have him sit behind Russell, because if you're paying him a lot of money, might as well play him. But I wouldn't. His name and the money gives him a lot of chances. And Payton ain't taking a lot of slack, like he said. Stop kissing all those infant babies.
Sean Payton don't kiss ass. He has never been shy. I'll tell you what, there's another quarterback in the state of Colorado that I'm going hot take. I don't care. We're doing it right now. Shedeur Sanders will be drafted by the Denver Broncos in the draft.
Is he eligible this year?
Yes, he is. Yeah, 2024. Yep, this draft. Yeah, he's eligible. He is going to be a for sure top 3 pick, top 5 pick for sure, depending on the team, obviously. Look, there's a quarterback in Colorado already. I can hear the story already. He just stays home. He stays home and and look, obviously. There's big talks about, if the Cardinals had the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams is like, nah, I'm good, yada, yada. I don't see that happening. We've had plenty of quarterbacks over the last 10 years had that same kind of, I'm good, like Lawrence with the Jaguars. He was like, but he still went. There's one more, I can't think of it at the moment, but he was also like, but these are guys around him. He didn't actually. They didn't actually come out there and say it themselves, but their circle said something. Now, as far as Caleb Williams, his dad was the one that said that, not Williams himself, not Caleb himself.
Yeah,
his dad was speaking, right? But they had those conversations in house, obviously. Shedeur Sanders, I'm telling you, Sean Payton is drooling at the fact that if we don't have a great year and we're a top 5 pick, I promise you, the quarterback he wants, he doesn't want a flashy guy like Caleb Williams. He wants that guy like Shedeur Sanders, pocket quarterback in the huddle, who's going to throw that football. I think that the Broncos, Sean Payton's like, look. He's kissing babies, trying to be that market guy. I don't. First of all, I agree with you on the question. The Broncos are in much. Their lead was much more significant blowing because the Cardinals, they're happy. They say, you know what, we played well though, fans. Whoever came to this game in Arizona, they got their money worth besides the Cardinals winning. they got their money's worth. It was a great game, you know.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're doing our job. We're doing our job. We're still losing, but looking good while losing. You know, remember off of Toy Story when Buzz Lightyear says, "I'm flying with style." You know,
Yes.
you're not flying, bro. You're just soaring, about to fall and crash. That's the Cardinals. They're flying with style. They're dying with style. How about that? So
Yeah.
I'm going with the Broncos. It's bad right there in Denver. They're downright ugly. You can't have an 18-point lead right before halftime and just completely blow it up. And
Yeah.
that's a bigger shout out to the Commanders for coming back, and bigger shout out to the Giants too. The Giants look
Mm.
dead, and I'm so glad the Giants won and came back, because if they would have lost this, the state of New York would have been eating them up. Oh Lord, it would have been bad. We understand the Cowboys, but the freaking Cardinals, that would have been bad. So I'm
That
glad
would
they
be
came back,
really bad.
but they looked like a totally different team.
Yeah.
The Giants did in a good way, and the Cardinals like, yeah, we did enough y'all to look good. Let's take this L now.
Yeah. It's like, right, we've proven that we're not tanking. Let's now tank.
Right, exactly. Yes. You are right about that. All right, let's go with your what the fudge cake moment, man. This moment is anything a part of week 2, whether it be a player, personnel, whatever. What is your what the fudge cake moment?
My what the fudge cake moment, and we sort of spoke to it, is the refs ripping out the fans of Denver and denying them that 2-point conversion, because we had oh my god, they're gonna do it, this is hope, yes, when they completed the Hail Mary of all things, and then it just to end on that, you just go, what the fudge was that? It's just like, come on, what was that? And it's just like a clear, obvious DPI. Should have had them a second attempt. If they didn't make it on the second attempt, fair enough.
Right.
That sucks. That's Denver being Denver. But the fact it was just denied harshly by the refs, you just go, oh, come on. But yeah, that's my what the fudge cake is, just the refs hating Denver fans.
And the crazy part about that play was, man, we seen worse. We seen less get called for DPI in the NFL. The NFL is they're so focused on scoring points that they are like, it was a breath of fresh air to watch XFL and the USFL, where like if there was a flag, it was warranted, right? It felt like it was warranted. In the NFL, man, like just the Saints game I called yesterday, there was a DPI called on Paulson Adebo, and I was like, what the fudge kick? That's not a DPI. He was just holding on to his shoulder, but he didn't grab. He just kind of like held on to his shoulder and kind of nudged him a little bit, and they called a flag. I was like, whoa, the NFL is just that bad. I wish there was someone in the command center, like I said, USFL, XFL, they both done a good job. Someone in the command center say, hey, that's not a flag. That's not a flag. Take it back. Take it back. You know, don't throw that flag.
Well, that is a flag. There needs someone to be like,
that is a flag. Yes, exactly.
You missed it. Go back. That's a flag, and everything needs to be reviewed, because they've got cameras. 50,000 cameras looking at every point. That can be slowed back. Literally, can be like, oh, yep, that's DPI. Oh, that's not DPI. Yes, that's roughing the passer. That's not roughing the passer. It's just like, you've seen lesser leagues, because the XFL and USFL are lesser leagues. They don't have the money and the resources that the NFL have. Do it well, do it successfully, and show that it can work. And in the game, in those leagues, hardly any hate for the refs. Like, there's nothing, because you see the progression. You see them go, okay, this is why, this is what we think, this is the thing. But we don't have that in the NFL, so it's just a guy going, nah, or no, I didn't see that. No, I didn't see that. No, you know what I mean? And this is obviously, that allows the whole idea of the NFL being scripted happen, because we have that. We don't have that transparency. That level of level of insight of what's going through these people's heads, and it sucks. And that breaks people's hearts, makes people angry, and just causes all this controversy.
Yeah, I've seen. I mean, so far I can feel it's gonna take that one team, that one player, to get an obvious, that one like Sunday night game or Monday night game where like it's all eyes on this one game, and someone
Mhm.
has a DPI that's horribly called or something, I can see it now where like it feels like there's a ricochet going on. It's just week 2,
Yeah.
but there's been a lot of ticky tack calls. Um, my what the fudge cake moment came from the Falcons versus Packers game.
Oh.
Uh, if you guys haven't seen it, the Packers 4th and inches or 4th and 1, they're trying to sneak it in to win the game. Pretty much, my guy Jordan Love must have been drinking some good juice before that play because he went under the center to snap and he just lost his footing and fell over the O lineman for a false start on the quarterback. I've never
Yeah.
seen that in my life. And I've watched a lot of NFL. I have never seen a false start on the quarterback for how he did it. I've seen it where they like they tried to fake the snap count and the verbiage. They move their head. I've seen that be called false start. Drew Brees did it a few times in his career. The hands like real fast with the hands and make guys jump. You can't do that in the NFL. But for Jordan Love to go under center and just lose his footing and he
Yeah.
falls on an O lineman, and they call a false start. They're forced to punt. The Falcons go for the game-winning field goal. That's how your game ends. That was my what the fudge cake moment. The Packers were inches away from going 2-0, and Jordan
Yeah.
Love says, "Nah, hey, hold my beer."
It,
He
it
just,
honestly looked like it honestly looked like he was expecting the ball, so it's like, okay, I'm gonna get the ball and go. And like in his head, his progression is like, I'm gonna get the ball and go. And like his head did that, and so did his body. It's just like, no, I don't need to go down.
it was just a mental lapse. I
Oh
don't know
god.
what happened. It was a mental lapse. He
It's,
just like he went up there, and I don't know if he was trying to call an audible or trying to fake an audible, and he just tripped over his own feet and just fell on top of the right guard. It was hilarious. Well, not for
yeah.
Packers fans. Uh,
Yeah.
that was bad, but I laughed just I was like, wow, that's how you lose the game. Like you know how after the game, the next day or that Tuesday, they're going through footage in the conference room and they're all sitting down and they're like, I can imagine like the OC says, "What the fudge cake was that, bro? what do you say? What do you? I don't know, coach. I don't know. I don't. You can't say nothing. It's like, bro, I just lost it. I don't know. I have not. Leave me alone, coach. I have no idea. Thank you.
It's funny.
So that's my what the fudge cake moment, man. That's hilarious, bro. In business,
That's
he
pretty
said, "I'm
funny.
going to get the ball and go, but forgot to get the ball part." Honestly, I think he was trying to quick snap it, and
Yeah.
it just didn't go the way he wanted to, and he just his body moved before his mind moved, or his mind moved before his body moved. I'm not quite sure,
Do you
but
think it was a delay on the center? Like he would the center
yeah,
finished snap
yeah, he was
and then everyone would have
probably
gone.
hoping him and the center had something going on. Like, hey, just snap
Yeah.
it, we're gonna go, just me and you. And he just assumed it was coming, and he took off to the right side, and he didn't have the ball.
Yeah.
So that was a tough play. Wadden says I had to watch this Jordan Love play.
Yeah, go
Hey,
for it.
Jordan Love, false start against Falcons, something like that, man. That's my what the fudge cake moment, man. But it tells you the NFL how that moment went from 2-0 to 1-1. Like that
Yeah.
in a tight NFC, that could be the difference. You never know. You never know. So yeah, those are our what the fudge cake moment, man. TJ's going with the Broncos. No penalty called for DPI, and then we got obviously mine's is the Jordan Love debacle, trying to sneak it in, trying to be sneaky, man, trying to be
It's just
sneaky.
devastating.
Yeah, next we have our week 3 picks and predictions. I know this is everyone's favorite time of the year now, of the stream. I'm sorry. Week 3, our picks and predictions, y'all. We got a lot of really good games going on for week 3, and we always
Yeah,
start
yeah.
off from Thursday night. Let me get to it first, y'all. Yeah, here we go. He said he was so sneaky, he out-sneaked even himself. Yes, Travis, it happens, man. It happens. He just Snuck himself. That's hilarious, bro. All right, let's get it, man. Let's start off with the Thursday night football matchup. We probably shouldn't talk long about this at all. It's the New York Giants taking on the San Francisco 49ers, brother. Who you got in this one? I'll let you go first.
San Francisco 49ers. Right, what you got now?
Yeah, I'm with you. The Niners.
It's very simple.
Yeah, no Barkley, which is tough for the Giants. Barkley comes in there, you might have a shooter's chance, right? But Barkley
Yeah,
being
he's not
gone.
coming in.
Yeah, they're done. Not much to talk about this game. That's the Niners all day. The main question is for bettors, like, do you go with the over or do you go with the spread or not the spread, right? That's the main thing. Like, how bad will the Niners beat the Giants, man? We don't want to talk too much about that. But now we get to Sunday's games, y'all. We have some really good matchups out the gate to start off week 3 in the morning time. Our first game on the docket, y'all. Talking about the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Detroit Lions. I'll go first with this one. I'm going with the Detroit Lions. In a shootout. Yes, I'm going. This has potential to be another game of the week. The Lions pretty much had that with the Seahawks last week. I think this week could be another game. One, as a Falcon hater, I'm really hoping they lose this game. But two,
Of course.
I think the Lions, they can't lose 2 in a row at home. And I think, honestly, this game, a shootout, but I think Detroit has more weapons, per se, at home as well. I think Goff at home and Ritter on the road, 2 different aspects. I got the Lions win this one, but a shootout.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Atlanta has really sort of been like, yeah, we're here, we're not going to suck. I feel like Detroit has more to prove after the Seahawks game. They're playing at home, and they're just here. Like, although they did get a lot of injuries, depending on how Amara St. Brown is, and their running back Montgomery. David Montgomery.
David Montgomery, yeah.
Yeah, like, because that was their main back. Like, even though they drafted Gibbs, they were using Montgomery the most. So depending on how he is, but I still feel like Detroit is that rough team. We're going to punch you, and Atlanta's up and coming. Like, they're doing really well, and I hope they do well. But Detroit's gonna show out at home.
Hey, if the Falcons win, though, Falcons will be a sneaky 3-0. If they find a way to get a dub over Detroit, they'll be a sneaky 3-0 team. And
good for them.
A lot of experts were picking the Falcons to win the NFC South. And if they go to 3-0 and win in Detroit, winning against the Carolina Panthers, and then winning at home. No, I think it was back-to-back home games, right, for the Falcons, right? So they beat Carolina in Atlanta. And then they beat, because Carolina's opener was against New Orleans. Yeah, they said it. So Atlanta's first 2 games at home against Green Bay and against the Panthers. But now their first road test also for the year against a really good Detroit Lions team that can score. So we both are going with the Detroit Lions in this one. So another good one. We have the battles of the beatens right now. 2 really good teams. Someone's going to get their first win, but more importantly, someone's going 0-3. We have the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Who you got, TJ?
Oh, this is a hard one.
It is.
Are the Chargers going to Chargers and the Vikings going to be the Vikings?
Right. Something's got to give. It might be a tie.
I'm going to go with Minnesota. Simply because, again, Chargers going to Charger. And like, the defense for Chargers hasn't been there. Like, it just hasn't. Against Tua week 1, week 2, like, they let Henry back in it. They let King Henry. The Tennessee Titans, so essentially just King Henry. Like, they let them back in and win in overtime. And the Vikings have been playing well, and they've got Justin Jefferson. So if they played half of what they did against the Eagles, they're going to win this game. Like, their defense does need to get better, but I feel like their offense can outscore the Chargers' offense, and that might be what it is. Can the Chargers keep up with Justin Jefferson? And I don't think they can, so I'm going to go with Minnesota.
And I agree with you, my brother. I'm going with the Vikings to win this game. I've got Minnesota winning this, and here's my thing. Austin Eckler, if he does play, he's not healthy. I think he'll be out for this game anyways.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. If Eckler was in this game, I'll go to Chargers. He's not playing this game. He's a difference maker. Josh Kelly's a nice backup. He's not a great number 1 guy. And my thing is, can the Chargers keep up with the Vikings? But even if they do, it's gonna be a shootout. I
Yeah.
trust Minnesota. It's non-prime time now, so it's Kirk Cousins at 12 o'clock. He might go for 400 yards passing this game. Jefferson might go. Look, me and my friend at work were talking like Jefferson might go 200 yards in this game. He might just go for 200
Easy.
yards receiving. And I'm with you on this. I think just it sucks though because these are two really good teams on paper, and one of them
Yeah.
are gonna go 0-3 to start the year off, and that's disaster for one of these franchises going 0-3, right? That's disaster. So I think I'm more fascinated with the 0-3 part than the first win part, right?
If the
Uh,
Chargers go 0-3, do they get rid of Staley?
Ooh, I'm gonna say no, but
No.
I told you, Brandon stated he's going to get fired somewhere in the season. He is. If they
Yeah.
continue this, Markai is in the building. She says Chargers have to win. Peter said, "What's up, Markai?" Yes, Markai, they gotta win, but we were both picking the Vikings to beat the Chargers. Oh my goodness, man! It's gonna be interesting though. Someone's going 0-3. Someone is going
Yeah.
0-3, and these are two really good teams on paper that are going 0-3. That sucks, man. But you're right though. If the Chargers do lose, Stady's on the super duper hot seat, and Sean Payton's like, bro, why couldn't wait one more year? I needed
Yeah.
one
No.
year to be. But
It is.
Sean Payton is so New Orleans Saints that he wanted the Saints to, I'll go to Broncos, man, and hit the draft pick for me. I'll help you guys out.
You could tell he wanted to go to the
Oh,
Chargers because he pretty
badly.
much went to every Chargers game and he had his little binoculars looking at Herbert.
Oh,
It's like, yeah,
badly.
this is the QB I want to teach, and then
Yes.
even the Broncos ruined that.
Let's go. And now he's got to face him twice a year, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God! All right, we're both going with the Vikings to beat the Chargers, man. That game could go any type of way. Let me get TJ back in here, you guys. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can get TJ back in the building, y'all. Our next game on the docket, y'all, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Green Bay Packers, and you guys, this one's a toss-up, but I'm just gonna go with it, man. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to beat the New Orleans Saints in this one. Yes, I am a diehard Saints fan, but I tell folks I'm also a realist as well. I am a realist, and being a realist, I gotta just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it real, and I'm going with the New Orleans Saints. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to beat the New Orleans Saints in this game. Close matchup. Saints still haven't found their footing yet when it comes down to who they are on offense. I think Packers, with or without Aaron Jones, they're known to they can score some points and go up down that field with Jordan Love, and could have easily been 2-0, right? Could have easily been 2-0, and it just didn't happen because of the blunder by Jordan Love. But regardless, though, I think at home, Green Bay, it's going to be a defensive struggle. Both teams play very well on defense. Packers at home, Saints on the road. They're going to come with their toughness. We know about that. But my whole thing is, can the Saints score against Green Bay? I don't really see it happening. We got my guy TJ in just a second. I see him in there right now. We're going to bring him back in, y'all. So bear with us. We got TJ Tracy coming back in there. I apologize for
I
the delay. But my guy is
I
back in
also
the building.
apologize.
Oh, he's back in the building. It's all love, man. It is all
My
love. We are
apologies.
back.
Like, I'm currently using my phone's Wi-Fi, so
No, you're good, man. You're good, baby. But yeah, I don't know if you heard. I think you did hear though. I'm going
yeah,
with
I
the
did.
Packers to beat the Saints. Like I said, I think that on the road for New Orleans, tough environment. One
Mhm.
thing though, that defense will keep the Saints in the game. If they will, this is going to be a close game. I have no doubt about that. Jordan Love is not going to just go throw for 300 yards, 400 yards. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's going to be a nasty, ugly game. But I'm going to go with the Packers winning. I'm gonna say 16-14. One of those kind of games.
Really.
It's going to be ugly, man. So I'm going with Green Bay to beat my New Orleans Saints. I hope not, but right now I'm going with the Packers to win.
I agree with you there. We've got exactly the same picks again. But no, I reckon it's going to be those kind of games. Kamara's not back this week. It's next week, isn't it?
Right, right.
If Kamara was back, I would choose the Saints because we saw what Bijan Robinson did to the Packers. Like, he ran them over. So, but without that, yeah, I feel like Green Bay just has a. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a defensive game, and it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah.
And so far, Jordan Love has been like he's been doing well.
He's been doing good. He's been great. Like, he's been better than advertised, honestly. I thought that he would be more like a CJ Stroud type of you know, like just trying to. Well, Stroud's doing well too, but more like a you know, not as bad as Justin Fields, but kind of like a deer in headlight looks. No, you can tell he's been in that system for a while now. Obviously, it feels like Aaron Rodgers took over for Brett Favre, right?
If
3
they found
years.
another one, like
Right.
come on.
Shout
That's
out to the Packers,
unfair.
man. That's not fair.
But yeah, it shows that he has learned from Aaron Rodgers and is doing well. And LaFleur is planning the game around Jordan Love, not Aaron Rodgers. And like, hopefully Aaron Jones can return. Obviously, they had a couple of injuries. Hopefully, it's nothing too severe. But yeah, I just reckon Green Bay at home as well. Yeah, sorry. I think the Saints take an L on this one.
Oh yeah. We agree though. We agree. So far, we agree on everything, right? I think so. Yeah. All right. Let's go with our next game on the docket. Now, this is from the AFC South. We have the Houston Texans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll let you go first, brother.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, Houston looked good. Like, CJ Stroud played very well, and he is doing progression, but he's still a rookie. And even though Jacksonville really didn't want to win that game against the Chiefs, because they made it all the way to the red zone and just didn't score, like, couldn't get it in. They had many opportunities to beat the Chiefs last week, and the Chiefs' defense came to play. Like, it wasn't the defense that let the Chiefs down last week. So I reckon Jacksonville will bounce back. It's at home in Jacksonville, and Trevor Lawrence will have a great game in this one. And Houston, again, I don't think the problems are CJ Stroud. I reckon you need a better O-line and more weapons for CJ Stroud to throw to. And obviously, it's still a young team. Like, their defense is pretty young. But yeah, Jacksonville's got this, and I think it's going to be an nasty one as good as well.
Shout out to Michael Kenji Izumi in the building. MKI Sports showing love. Says, what's up, Carlos and PJ and TJ? Said, don't forget that Team PJ is 32-0. She always is. Yeah. She said, never lost. That's right. Never lost, y'all. Never lost. She be losing on like live streams and saying that she never lost. I don't get it. You go and say a team is gonna win, they lose, but somehow you still won. I don't know how that happens. But and on this one, obviously I agree. 2 words, one name. Travis Etienne is gonna have a monster game this week.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna really shine against that Texans defense, and he's gonna really eat up. But I agree with Michael though. It's gonna be a close game. Houston always plays Jacksonville pretty tough over the years. I see Jacksonville as always, divisional round, always kind of underestimating the Texans. But the Jaguars seem to always beat the Texans, though, no matter how worthy the Texans are for this particular matchup. I'm going with the Jaguars. I think that a running game, I think they take the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence, and they run the ball very well with Etienne, and even their rookie, number 4, I forgot his name already. But he's going to have a nice game as well, I believe. So we're both going with Jacksonville over Houston. All right, let's keep the ball rolling, man. Stick with the AFC. We have the Denver Broncos at the Miami Dolphins. I will go first. I am tired of picking against the Dolphins. I'm going Miami in this game. I think, honestly, it depends on how Miami wins, and I feel like this could get ugly. I just feel like Miami's going to blow out the Broncos from the start. I'm going to say not blow them out, but win by 2 scores, 14 points. And if that happens, I can hear all the negativity. Yo, shout out to Wagner Moratelli is in the building. What's up, Wagner? Always good to see you. Denver versus Miami, I'm going with the Dolphins. I feel like the Dolphins are going to have their way with Denver. Denver just looks lost right? The one time their offense really gets going, their defense says, screw it. Screw it. I'm like, what are you doing, man? You finally scored 21 points in the first half. I mean, and all of a sudden, you can't hold on to that lead because your defense all of a sudden can't play against the Commanders? Well, just imagine Miami at home, right? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. They need some milk. I'm going with the Dolphins, y'all. In a blowout fashion, they'll beat the Broncos. And Broncos go to 0-3. Now we have a lot of bad-ish coming out.
It's not going to be good. Yeah, because I also have Miami winning. It's in Miami. They've got to deal with that Floridian heat.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, like last year, they did put AC units to the away team, so they were just sweating and nasty. But the Miami's offense is too high powered. It's too air raidy. Like Denver doesn't have the defense to deal with that, and the Denver is still too lost to deal with Miami's defense. Like
Right.
it's going to be nasty. I think the only way Denver walks out of this is one with like a moral victory. Is one if it was a close game. Two, if Russell Wilson wasn't the reason they lost. And two, the play calling looked good. Like if those three things happen, I think the fans are going to walk away sort of semi-happy. But I think Miami are going to keep the win streak, and I think Tua's going to go back to what he was last year, which is go deep. Tyreek or Waddle is down there somewhere. So yeah, it's going to really suck for Denver.
It might get ugly in Denver. The state of Denver, the state of the Denver Broncos might be in jeopardy for this up and coming week after this Miami game. But hey, that's why we play the game. You never know. All right, our next game we have the Tennessee Titans at the Cleveland Browns. I'll let you go first, TJ. Who you got in this one?
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I feel like even though it is at home, Cleveland's at home, I feel like Tennessee with the win yesterday, on Sunday, has sort of energized. It's like, yeah, we can do this. We can just get behind King Henry and do this. Tannehill didn't look entirely terrible. Burks looked good. And even though Cleveland does have that great defense, I just feel like their offense is not good, especially with Chubb out. I just don't like how Watson's been looking. He hasn't returned to his 2019 form before he had all the problems and everything. And it's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be, I reckon, a ground game for Tennessee. And I just don't see Cleveland winning this game at all, even if it is at home. Their main source of yards was Chubb, and he's gone. Like, maybe they'll be like, yes, we're going to do this.
And I agree with it being a very ugly game, as TJ has left the building once again. We'll get him right back in, y'all. I agree with it being a very, very ugly game. But one thing, this is our first swing game. I'm actually going with the Cleveland Browns, despite the loss of Nick Chubb, which is very unfortunate, by the way. But despite the loss of Nick Chubb, I gotta go with the Browns to win this game at home. Defense clicking on all cylinders against the Titans. I think the Titans will go back to more Week 1 Tennessee. Then I got them going back to more Week 1 Tennessee than Week 2 Tennessee. That Chargers defense is kind of, you know how the Chargers do, Ralph. But unfortunately, I think the Browns are going to take advantage of a Titans team that just doesn't know what the fudge cake they want to be. Let's just keep it real. All right, give me 1 second. Y'all gonna bring my guy back in. Gonna bring him back in, you guys. Have no fear. TJ's about to be here. But still, I'm going with the Browns though. I think Cleveland, despite the freaking loss, which is very unfortunate of Nick Chubb, I think it's gonna be a super ugly game. And I do agree with you on that, TJ. Very ugly game.
Yeah.
But I think the Browns, first of all, the support of the fans, the will to want to win for Chubb for this just one game. for this one game. I can understand things are going to be hostile in Cleveland. I think Tennessee is just not ready for that road matchup because Browns are going to be energized. I think, honestly, in my opinion, this is an early must-win game for Cleveland.
Oh,
This,
really?
this game is going to tell you if they're a playoff team or not, right here. I promise you, it will. If they can get a win, that confidence will go sky high. If they take that L, they're like, you know what? Yeah, this really is life right now. You know, and so I'm going with Cleveland. You got Tennessee, I got Cleveland. So our first swing game,
First swing?
first
Yep.
swing game, baby. I ain't mad at that. It makes everything a whole lot better. Um, as Michael says, Jerome Ford was somewhat decent last night. Yeah, that gave me hope, gave me confidence. Okay, even without Nick Chubb, they have a viable backup back, right? A viable backup behind Nick
Hopefully.
Chubb. So yeah,
You
hopefully.
reckon Hunt returns? Kareem Hunt.
Hey, maybe so, right? Hunt's trying to find a deal. The one time he's not a part of that team is when Chubb gets hurt. You know, he
Yeah.
could have easily had all the reps in for him. So very unfortunate for Kareem Hunt. All right, let's go to our next game on the docket, you guys. It's going to be an interconference matchup between the Buffalo Bills versus the Washington Commanders. A very interesting matchup. This one, my brother, I kind of went back and forth. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
I went back and forth, man. We had the 2-0 Commanders taking on the 1-1 Buffalo Bills, and even right now, I'm kind of like, what the fudge cake? But I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills. I'm gonna keep it safe. I'm going with Buffalo to win this on the road, but man, it's gonna be a back and forth battle, I believe. Back and forth. That Washington crowd is gonna be crazy. But I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, but it won't be any kind of blowout. I think Josh Allen's gonna struggle in this game. But
Fair.
they'll find a way just because of pure talent to overcome this Washington defense. I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills, but by that much of a margin.
Fair. I agree. And I was watching Red Zone, and even so, it wasn't on a lot because they were blowing up the Vegas. But what I saw, it looked like they were like Buffalo was. We're going to run the ball. We're actually going to establish a run game, take all the pressure off Josh Allen to limit those interceptions, to just be like, okay, let's recenter yourself. And they did. They established the run game. They did well on the run game. Josh Allen didn't throw any interceptions, and hopefully that has reset the offense to back to what it was. And the Washington row line's not the best. If Buffalo had Von Miller in this game, it would have gone nasty.
Right.
But obviously he's on IR. I reckon Buffalo's going to go back to let's run the ball, let's just keep it basic football. Ground game's going to win us. Take us through most of this game, and I reckon that's what they're going to do. I reckon that will eventually beat Washington. I reckon the defense are going to come in to stack the box, and that's when Josh Allen's going to throw it to Stephon Diggs. And I like Scary Terry and all that, but I just feel like Buffalo is going to just do enough to win, but I don't think it's going to be convincing. It's going to be Buffalo. Right. People are still going to be like, is Buffalo really that team everyone thinks they're going to be? That's my pick as well.
I agree. I completely agree with everything you said on that one. We're going to go out and say, is Buffalo still are they still really good, or we don't know what's going on? You might lose faith in a win in Buffalo, but win's a win. They'll get it how they want it, man. So
win is a win.
Yeah. Our next game from the AFC, we had the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Baltimore Ravens. You guys, I'll let you go first on this, TJ.
I'm going to go with the Ravens, and it's going to be a very interesting game because obviously you've got Lamar, who's known as a runner, against potentially a new future really good runner in AR-15, Anthony Richardson. Hopefully he has passed concussion protocol and it's nothing serious, even though Gardner Minshew did come in and look very good. But the the Indiana Colts are on the up-and-coming team, and next year they might do well, but then they're going against Baltimore Ravens, who's there to compete. They're here to win a championship. Lamar looked amazing last week, even though Odell is a bit banged up, surprising no one. And it's just the Ravens are always banged up.
Yeah, those Ravens receivers, man, damn it.
Yeah, just like getting injured. I just feel like the Colts are just going to get outplayed by Baltimore. But who knows if the defense of the Colts are used to dealing with a running QB, like they practice against Anthony Richardson, maybe they're a bit prepared for.
Well, they got Lamar Jackson. I mean, they see him every day. So.
Yeah, potentially. But I feel like Baltimore's defense will handle Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson, and I reckon the defense won't be able to handle Lamar.
Yeah,
really good.
I agree. I think Baltimore is going to easily win this game, whether it's AR-15 or it's going to be Gardner Minshew. I don't care who the quarterback is in this game. I think Baltimore is really going to put the hammer on the defense. I see buku turnovers from being forced by the Ravens. I think Ravens win by like 17 points, something like that. I think it gets ugly fast, in my opinion. Although Baltimore has started off slow in every game so far, per se, like first half wise. So I'm going to go with the Ravens in a dominating win over the Colts. Colts weapons, they just don't have enough weapons right now on the offensive side of the ball to compete with that Ravens defense at home. So that's my thing. We're going with the Ravens over the Colts. We both agree on that one. So pretty easy on that one. We'll find out, but we have to play the football game and find out. Our next game on the docket, y'all. From the AFC East side, we have the New England Patriots taking on the New York Jets. I will go first, my guy. Give me the Jets. Jets. I'm going with the New York Jets in somewhat of an upset. I'm going with the Jets to win this game. I think, yes, downright ugly game. But that Jets defense is going to put something on the Patriots offense. I think that Jets defense is special. As bad as they played last week against Dallas on offense, that Jets defense made it difficult for the Cowboys to score touchdowns. Cowboys hit like 5 or 6 field goals, I think, something like that game. They could not score touchdowns until, like, obvious ones, like only 2, but they couldn't score. Because the Jets defense is legit, man. And here's a stat for you. CeeDee Lamb had over 100 yards receiving, right? I think he had like 9 catches, 100 yards, maybe 11 catches, whatever. Ahmad Gardner, they call him Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
Only allowed 1 catch when he went up against Lamb. And him and Lamb went up one-on-one at least, I think, 20-something times. Only allowed 1 catch. The other catches came from when Lamb went on the other side of the field. Now, Sauce Gardner in that defense, he plays on one side of the field. So he doesn't follow the best receiver, which is very unfortunate because right now you're like, bro, you got to follow the best receiver. I'm sorry. You just got to. But he plays on one side of the field. But only 1 catch allowed to CeeDee Lamb, who was eating against everybody else. It tells you how great Sauce Gardner is early in his career already. But still, I think the Jets defense will put the clamps. There is no CeeDee Lamb on the Patriots team, right?
No, it's not.
There's not. There aren't any weapons, in my opinion, besides Hunter Henry, the tight end, and that can be easily, shut down. I mean, you talk about Kevin Bourne and who else? Parker, the former Dolphin, as your receivers, man. And I think the Jets shut that down. They shut that run game down. Ugly game. I think I'll go with like a 20-13 kind of game. Jets win. 20-13. Yeah. So I'm going New York, man. How about you?
I'm going with a very, very low scoring game. I reckon this is going to be like 3-10 kind of game. It's going to be horrible to watch. I have New England winning.
Gotcha.
And I think simply because I wouldn't be surprised if both offense don't score any points. I reckon this is going to be a field goal and a pick 6. You know what I mean? I feel, and the reason I say that,
a pick 6.
Yeah,
God,
that's honestly how I think it's going to go.
God,
It's going to
dog.
be both defenses
Gotcha.
are going to eat. Both defenses are going to eat both offenses. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be terrible. Well, I know you like defensive games, but like, it's just not going to be nice to watch.
No, I agree with you though. A very ugly game is gonna be. I can definitely agree with you on that one. Very okay. We lost TJ for a second, but we'll get him right back, you guys. I promise you, we'll get him back. Uh, yeah, I'm definitely going with the Jets. He's going with the Patriots. So that's another swing game for us. We're gonna find out who is going to win that game. I'm very excited for that game because it's gonna be one of those. Hey, if both these teams really want to be a part of that AFC playoff uh, no realm, this is what the game that you got to win. These are the games you have to win. So I'm just going to assume that it's going to be an ugly game. Well, not assume. We know it's going to be ugly. It's just there's two teams that just aren't built for offensive fireworks. But someone's going to be what 2-1 this game, and that could be how things can light a spark for these squads, right? You want to see a spark lit in one of these teams because it's not going to come from the offense. Let's keep it real. It's going to come from the defense. It's going to come from the freaking defense. And give me a second. We're going to bring TJ back in here in just a few moments. We can hopefully get him back up in here. But yeah, definitely going with the Jets, and he is going with the Patriots. Should be a really good one. I cannot wait, y'all. So see if I can get these. Says, so yeah, a very defensive game, and Belichick will handle the Jets well, says TJ. I do concur. I concur on that one. So we get TJ back in this bad boy. I see it. I see it coming up, TJ. We got you in a second, man. Go ahead, click on it. Wait till it pop up. First of all, thank y'all for being part of the chat, y'all. You guys are awesome, man. Sorry for the technical difficulties out, but hey, it's how it is, man. My guy TJ's in another area right now, so we're gonna get that we're rocking and rolling with that one right now. Uh, our next game is gonna be TJ is in the UK. He's in the UK, close to London. Give me 1 second, y'all. We're gonna get TJ back in here. Uh, our next game on the docket is going to be the Carolina Panthers at the Seattle Seahawks, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll go first. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to really put the clamps down on the Panthers. I feel a little bit bad for the Panthers. Can you hear me, TJ? Give me 1 second, y'all. Thought we had them back. Thought we had them back, man. But yeah, definitely going with the Carolina. I'm sorry, the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Seahawks put the clamps on Carolina. Honestly, I don't know about this Carolina team. Mike says if Carolina wins, all right. Hey, have a good night. Have a good night, Samuel. Let's get you back on the screen, TJ. I got you in a minute, man. Can you hear me, TJ?
I can hear you. Can you
All
hear
right,
me?
I can hear you, brother. Yes, sir.
Oh,
You're
that's
back
good.
on.
That's good. That's good. Sorry.
No, you're good. So
Yeah, I am
I'm
so
going with
sorry.
no, you're good. I'm going with Seattle. We're going with the Seahawks to win this game, and I just don't like what I see from the Panthers right now. I don't. Bryce Young, number one overall pick. I get that, man. I was not high on Bryce Young at all. Being number one overall pick, I thought it should have been C.J. Stroud, but hey, I'm not the one making those calls. I just think he's just not as athletic as the Panthers would like him to be, or they thought he would be. And they said it was more of a mental thing, and things could work out towards the end of his career. But starting wise, I think Stroud and Richardson were better pieces for Bryce Young. Bryce Young in that offense, if Adam Thielen is your best receiver, you're in trouble. Because at the stage of Thielen's career, he's a 3 on any other team right now. Right now, he's playing as the 1, right, for the Panthers. They just don't have the offensive power. They got some big names in there: Miles Sanders, Hayden Hurst, yada yada yada. But these guys are kind of thin in their age now, and they probably won't make any impact against this game. Seattle at home, they want to amend for that first loss week 1 at home against the Rams. I think this game could also be ugly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, they're doing better, Carolina, than what I thought, but they're also not coming against teams like this. Like, no offense, like New Orleans isn't Seattle, and it's going to be nasty. I think Seattle's going to feast on this team, and yeah, young QB who is making rookie mistakes, and but he's learning. But they need that weapon. Like, Carolina's defense is doing a lot better than what I thought, and who knows, that might have a bit of problem. That might cause a bit of problem with Jimmy Smith. But now I reckon Seattle's just going to be a lot better, and I reckon it's going to be like a 13-21 game kind of aspect.
Okay, all right, hey. I hope so, for the Panthers' sake, for sure, man. I hope so for the Panthers' sake, though, for real.
You reckon? What, if they lose 13-21?
Yeah, I hope the Panthers make it a competitive game.
Oh, fair.
Because I got the score being much uglier than that.
Really?
I got it. I'll take your 30 and I'll subtract 12 for the Panthers, make it 30-9. Like, that Seattle defense, I mean, when playing right, they're pretty good at home.
Yeah, true.
But
yeah,
we haven't seen it yet, though. But that Panthers offense, they are god awful. Right now, Bryce Young averaging 4.2 yards per attempt. And right now, which is the 3rd lowest in QB's first 2 career starts, throwing over 50 times in NFL history.
Oh, nasty.
Yeah. It just can't get nowhere. There's no playmakers for the Panthers, So, speaking of another nasty game, though, let's go with the Chicago Bears versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I'll let you go with this real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, poor Bears. Poor Bears. Like, your first 2 games, you were like, yeah, Justin Fields is going to prove it. And he hasn't proved it. And then you're against the Chiefs. And I reckon this is the game where the Chiefs get their offense going. Like, they're going to be like, yep, okay, we're just going to get back to our basics. Travis Kelce's got another week to heal from his knee. Even though he looked okay. And, yeah, the Chiefs are going to eat the Bears. Yeah, so I'm going Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
it's going to be a bad one.
Hey, for Travis, I'm going with Chicago to win this game.
Oh,
No, I'm going with Kansas City all day, man. This is an easy one as well. The Bears, they're just atrocious. And what a time, you're right, though. I like your point, though, for Casey to get back to basics. You know, this Bears team, even on defense, they look kind of lost. A lot of missed tackles, just not engaged as past previous Bears defenses, which kind of overcame bad quarterback play. But now it feels like both of these are just not going away. And it was funny because in the offseason, they were saying Fields is MVP over Mahomes. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Oh, I got to wait, slow down. Fields MVP over Mahomes. Well, you're going to see a real MVP in this game. Mahomes annihilate the Chicago Bears defense. And obviously, at any point that she scored by 2 scores, this game is over with. I don't care if it's 10-0, whatever, 14-3. I don't care. By that time, it's ball game over, and she's gonna annihilate the Bears. I'm gonna say I think they put up 37. Nah, that's too much. I'm gonna say I'll say 20. I'll say 27. They'll win 27-10, something like that. You know.
You reckon that defense can stop Pat Mahomes from not getting 30?
Yeah, Man, it's only because the Chiefs are still trying to get things together. I think the Bears make it a close game first quarter wise, but then the Chiefs second on to the fourth. I mean, they dominate. So,
Fair.
but yeah, we're going Casey though, and all of a sudden we got a bunch of these freaking easy games now, man. Because our
Yeah.
next game in the docket, we got the Dallas Cowboys at the Arizona Cardinals, you guys. Uh-oh. Hold on. Did you go first on this one? Oh, did you go first the first
You
time?
want? I went go fast last time. It's your turn.
Okay, yeah, okay. Dallas. All right, you go.
Dallas as well.
Dallas is going to destroy the Cardinals. There's not much to talk about that. The defense
Although-
is too much.
There are those one games each game season when Dallas should win and they lose. If they lose to the Arizona Cardinals,
Oh,
I will be in heaven. The
Oh,
euphoria that I'll
I
get
bet
from
you
that.
would. I'll be in heaven too.
Oh,
Mind
all
you,
those fans can shut up.
I'm from
Oh,
Louisiana, and a lot of my kinfolk are from Texas, and I got a lot of kinfolk that are Cowboys fans, and they talk a lot of crap to not win nothing in over almost 3 decades. So I mean, but I look. Dallas wins this. I got like 99% that win this, but there's always that 1%, right? And we stayed hold fast at 1%. But honestly, Arizona, if they couldn't stop a nosebleed in that second half against the Giants, Dallas has got to score 13 points in this game to win. You know,
yeah.
they got to score
I
13
honestly
points, and that's it. The Arizona's offense, besides, I mean, they have a nice running game with Connor. That they look good in the running game, and maybe Dobbs is a mobile quarterback who can get out the pocket and maybe make some plays, but that's wishful thinking because the Dallas Cowboys have a baller every facet of the defense, man, and multiple ballers on every facet of the defense. So, yeah, that game could be ugly. I might, just because the Cardinals are at home, I'll give them 10 points at home.
They were at home last week.
Yeah,
And
but they
they
scored
lost.
20. They scored 28 points though against Giants.
Okay,
I'm
fair.
trying to give them 10. I'm being nice about 10 points. All right, well, we're both going down on that one. All right, let's get back to some decent games now. We can kind of put our thinking caps on, y'all. Sunday Night Football is going to be Pittsburgh Steelers at the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going with that one. All right, TJ, you go first, my brother. Who you got in this one?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Gotcha.
Mika Fitzpatrick is potentially out because he obviously got injured last game. But I reckon the Pittsburgh Steelers will be able to. Their defense will be able to manhandle the Vegas offense. Like you've got TJ Watt playing at an extremely high level. Like he's the one who scored essentially the winning points for them last night. And yeah, I reckon he's going to feast on Jimmy G this game. And although the defense of the Vegas Raiders might be able to do very well against Pickett and Pickens, but I just don't see the Vegas Raiders doing anything against that Steelers defense. And I just don't like Josh McDaniels, and I think Mike Tomlin's a better coach. So I'm going with the Steelers.
I'm going with the Raiders, man.
Oh,
I'm going with the Raiders. A small upset, but I'm going with the Raiders. I think this is one of those games at home, bright lights. The Raiders won't get many of these anymore, bright light games for a while. But I think that the Raiders offense, I like the Raiders offense in this game. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. If there's always that one game where Garoppolo, it feels like he just can't miss. And I feel like this is going to be that game where you're like, whoa, this is the Garoppolo that the Raiders want. It won't be what they get every single game from Garoppolo, but I feel like Jimmy G, or they call him a porn star Jimmy, I think he's going to be the one to really put it on the Steelers defense this week. And Steelers, look, we're all eating up, what they call that? A moment of the time. We saw the Steelers just beat down the Browns with that defense, and they scored multiple touchdowns via defense. But I'm telling you right now, that was at home. This is on the road against Vegas. I've got a feeling it's going to be a good game, though. And I feel like the Steelers' offense might come to life a little bit in this game. I got both these teams in the 20s. But I'm going to go with the Raiders. Close game. I'll say 23-20 Las Vegas. I'm going with the Raiders to win this one.
Fair enough. I reckon it is going to be that kind of game. Just either defense doesn't exist or it's going to be overwhelming for a third
Right,
quarter.
right. I think Garoppolo is veteran enough with some decent weapons on offense. I think Josh Jacobs might actually have a game this week and play well. My man had -2 yards rushing last week.
It was bad.
I was like, bro, like he's the first ever leading rusher of the previous year to have a -yard game, right? And I was like, he had -2 yards the whole entire game. What the crap is going on? So that's bad. But hopefully things look good for both these teams because this is another kind of must-win game, or those swing games, or 1-1. Both teams are 1-1,
Yep.
and this could maybe look. When you talk about postseason bursts and you talk about tiebreakers, this is one of those tiebreaker games that could happen.
Yeah, no, it could be. It's just like these kind of games is what makes a season. Like you got, if they can't win these games, then they're not going to go far. If you know what I mean, and that applies for both teams. It's just like if they can't win the bottom feeder teams, they're not going to do well. So.
All right, we have Monday Night Football, another doubleheader, which I freaking hate these doubleheaders on Monday Night Football.
I'm not a fan. No.
I don't like it. Unless you were, I said it on my stream yesterday, I don't like the doubleheaders being played at the same time. If you have it back to back, like a West Coast game at the end, I get that. I respect that. But to have these two games intertwined with each other, I don't like that at all. It kind of takes the viewing experience away because the Monday night is built for prime time, that one game, and now I got to watch two. Mm-hmm. So it's weird. But anyways, we have one of the rare games that have two teams 2-0 against each other, undefeated.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This gonna be a good one, and I hate to say it, TJ, I'm going with the Buccaneers to win this game. I'm going Tampa Bay to win this game. I think defense on defense. I think, oh my God, ugly kind of game. I don't see the Eagles. Look, I hope the Eagles win. Obviously, I'm an NFC South guy. I want the Eagles to win. Trust me. Right now, I think the Buccaneers just make it an ugly game. Baker Mayfield keeps it close. And I'm going to Baker Mayfield game-winning drive, a game-winning touchdown. Then I got a feeling it's going to be one of those 22-16 kind of games. So I'm going with the Buccaneers, man. I got to make things interesting for this channel, man. So, but no, I'm going Tampa Bay, man. I kind of know who you're going with.
Obviously I'm going to go with Philly. It is going to be a very, very interesting game, because it feels like our offense has reverted back to what it did when they faced faced Tampa Bay in the wildcard round a couple of years ago, where we're just run game, can't throw the ball. We've sort of reverted back to that. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we're able to run against that D-line, because obviously we couldn't, but obviously our O-line has got that. It's going to be very interesting. This game's going to be won in the trenches. That's how this game's going to go. If our O-line can stand up to our D-line, I feel like we're going to win. And if our D-line, our D-line doesn't even need to really dominate their O-line. It's just if Hurts has time, if Hurts has running lanes, if Swift has running lanes, we're going to win. I feel like that's how we're going to win the game. Yes, they've got Evans, but also we've got Slade, Bradbury should be back. Reed Blankenship should be back. Yes, we lost, obviously, Maddox, but a lot of our injured players, Gainwell should be back, are recovering because we had a short week and now we've had a nice long break. So it is going to be, I reckon it is going to be an ugly game, and I feel like the concern that fans have about Philadelphia will not be put to rest in this game. I reckon actually, even if we might be 3-0, but we'll be worried like there's no tomorrow about our team, which is completely weird. But yeah, I reckon this is going to be we're going to run the ball, and hopefully our O-line can withstand Vita Vea and their linebacker who caught a 4-yard pick six against Fields. So who knows? But yeah, I'm going to go with Philadelphia because home team, and I just hope Hurts gets back to what he's been playing at. And I don't know, maybe it was the play calling. And even when you sort of said that we went away from the run game, technically AJ Brown had a touchdown. It was then obviously taken away with a penalty, and it was a DPI on AJ Brown, which would have been a touchdown. Like,
Right.
but they made the rest miss. So hopefully our play calling gets back to what it should be, but who knows? But I'm going to go with Philadelphia in this.
All right. Hey, I do know one. I'm going to be calling that game. I know that.
Oh, really interesting.
We're calling Philly at Tampa Bay. But yeah, it's gonna be a great game. I cannot wait to call that. I can't wait. You're right though. I do agree with you. The battle of the trenches is gonna win this game. O-line and D-line. I mean, both teams have stout O-line and D-linemen, man. It's gonna be nasty, man. So we'll see. In our last game, another Monday night game. We have a doubleheader, you guys. First one is Eagles at Tampa Bay. An hour later, it's gonna be the Rams at the Bengals. I still don't understand why the freak that they have doubleheaders on Monday night with these two games intertwining with each other, but it is what it is. We're going with the Los Angeles Rams taking on the Cincinnati Bengals, you guys. And I'll let you go first on this one, TJ. Who you got, brother?
Okay. Well, this is a Super Bowl 55 rematch, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the LA Rams.
Oh, let's go.
I reckon the LA Rams are gonna win this game simply because they're doing a lot better than what people thought. Like, they have that rookie Ngata. I can't pronounce his last name.
I know Puka.
Yeah, something like that. Like,
Puka. Hey, Puka. Sorry, a little Louisiana flavor.
Break all the records, like,
yeah,
of like rookie receivers, receiving yards, all that kind of stuff. Since his defense, they lost Jesse Bates, and they're not being able to keep up with these balls being thrown over them. I reckon Stafford is going to have a bounce back game, even though he really didn't have a bad game. Yeah, he threw the 2 interceptions, but he almost won. It was a good game from him last week. So I reckon the struggles of Cincinnati will continue. Their O-line, I don't think it's going to do well against Aaron Donald, even though Aaron Donald's not prime anymore. Mm-hmm. He will have a good game against them.
Donald's still a beast, though, regardless, though.
Yeah, he is still a beast. Did you hear the clip from J.O. Smith seeing Aaron Donald rush him in week 1?
And what he said?
He audibly screamed.
Oh, my God. I got to see it now.
AD running, it's just like, it's like, oh my God.
Well, yeah, Gino, you're right, where he was mic'd up a little bit, and he said, he cussed and said something like, F or something.
It was just fear.
He's like, God dog it, boy. Woo! Scared me. Well, hey.
I reckon Rams are going to win this one.
And guess what? I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm going Rams 2-1. There's that potential Joe Burrow may or may not play in this game, but if he does play, how healthy is Joe Burrow? This team is not clicking right now. And the Rams, say what you want, man. They clicking. They played 2 road games already, and they're 1-1. And when you say road game, yes, I understand that their week 2 was at home against the Niners, but that was a Niners crowd. I don't care. That was a 49ers crowd. It was all red. You saw it. I was like, ain't no way in hell this cannot be the Rams Stadium. This is all red. 49ers is just literally beat up all Rams fans and took over tickets, man. So they played 2 road games, honestly, and looked good in both those games. Obviously, the big win over Seattle, and then they lost in a good fashion, 30-23. They lost to the to the Niners. But they played, at one point they had the lead over San Fran, I think. Or if not, it was like tied at one point or whatever. Close game. But I like the way the Rams are playing on offense. Their running game, they found a Jimmy Williams because Cam Akers was a healthy scratch. So obviously he's on a trading market now. So who wants Akers for a 7th-round pick? That's basically what's going to happen. If not, they're going to cut him or release him. And like I said, what's his name? Puka.
Yeah,
that kid, man. I mean, you lose Cooper Kupp, right, for the first 4 games, and then you add a Puka Puka Nakua, something like that. Puka Nakua, I think his name is. But still, you add him now, and he is looking phenomenal. His route running is amazing so far for a rookie. He's running some beautiful routes. Obviously, nothing over the top at the moment, but still, Matt Stafford is finding these guys, finding that gym, and then I think the Rams on offense, their defense, Aaron Donald is a major disruptor even at an older age now. I do believe that Donald is going to dominate that game. And if Joe Burrow plays, how healthy is he? This team's chemistry has been so poor right now, and it's very unfortunate. If you have Jamar Chase in fantasy, you are kicking a wall, breaking something. You mad
You're
right
just
now.
mad.
You
You're just
mad.
mad.
Back-to-back games, under 5 points, I believe, for him in fantasy wise. This is ugly right now for the Bengals. They're 0-2 and looking like a great potential to be 0-3. So yeah, we both agree the Rams will win this game in Cincinnati. But boy, I'm hoping for the Bengals to win. Good God. I need the
It
Bengals to
would be
win, man,
interesting.
because that's my Super Bowl pick. They can't go 0-3, right? All right, yeah. Hey,
What's your lock for this week?
yes,
Because
I was about to
so
go with
week
it.
one, or Denver let you down.
They did. Right now, you're
They
leading
let you down.
in locks 2-0. You have a 2-0, and I'm 1-1 right now. That freaking sucks,
Yeah.
man. Denver let me down big time. You had Atlanta in week 1, right?
Yep.
And then you picked
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay in week 2. That's good though. I had Denver in week 1. I lost. I had Buffalo in week 2. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks over the Carolina Panthers. That is my
Uh,
lock for week 3. We're going with Seattle Seahawks.
I also have Seattle.
Hey! Well, hey, there we
Oh,
go.
mine's ridiculous.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. We're here to win, baby.
Yeah, I have Seattle over the
Hey,
Carolina
I did
Panthers.
go on a line, and I went on I went on and got Denver, and just trying to be cute, And y'all know how I hate when teams be cute. Well, I try to be cute in that pick. I was like, hey, the Broncos, right? Just so I don't have to, this might be the easiest game for them to win, and I won't be forced because once week 14 and 15 comes around and we got to pick people and we only have a certain amount of teams to pick because I'm like well, the Broncos ain't gonna be one of them. Yeah, that backfired big time, man. So yeah, we're both going with Seattle then. That's our lock, y'all. So our lock is the Seattle Seahawks over the Carolina Panthers, and that should be one of the easiest locks of
Hopefully so.
yeah. Hopefully so. Now Panthers will win by a game-winning field goal now. All right. That'd be very, very, very unfortunate, man. Car Crazy, I'm off for the night. Good night, everyone. Good night, Car Crazy. Have a blessed night. But yeah, that has been our show, you guys. You guys are freaking awesome, man. Any questions? It's time to wrap things up now. If you want any questions, y'all let us know in the chat. It is that time of the stream. We're about to wrap things up, you guys. So we're going if you guys have not heard our picks yet, man, rewind it, man, and go back to our picks. We'll break down everything of week 3 for our picks and predictions. And yeah, very excited about week 3. There's a couple of dud games
Yeah.
after the noon games. Those evening games are gonna be kind of little. But outside of that, though, it's going to be a great week 3. Obviously, those early games, the first ones, Chargers and Vikings, that's going to be a good one. That's must-see TV for me. If they're on TV, I might actually call that game.
Really?
I lied. I'm lying. I ain't calling that game. I'm sorry. I just lied to y'all. I'm watching the Saints game, man. I'm tripping. I'll call an afternoon game. Hopefully a good one. I'll see what I'm calling
Yeah.
though. Or I might just call that
Well,
Sunday night game against the Steelers and Raiders. I might just go Sunday night football only and do Steelers and Ravens,
Yeah.
man, so I can relax and enjoy my time and probably do something
well,
with the kids.
in the UK, if you don't want to pay a lot of money for a subscription service, the only game you could watch is the LA Rams versus Cincinnati. I lied because we have to pay for a TV license, so that will still cost you a lot of money to watch.
Oh my God! Travis says real quick, what are PJ's picks out in public so she can't back out?
Oh.
She said, winners only, baby. Winners only. Right? Winners only. Oh, PJ, you got to say something. She says Seattle over Carolina. That's it. Who else? Oh, she said Dallas over Arizona. All right. Anybody else? You just go with the easy ones right now. She says all I got right now. Oh, my goodness. Philly says, I want y'all's opinion of who the best and worst fan base in the league are. Me and my friends were debating over this earlier. Oh, that's an easy one for me. Worst fan base, the Dallas Cowboys, as TJ leaves us again. He don't want to hear about it, the Dallas Cowboys. So TJ dipped out. Said, can I go to Las Vegas and bet the winners only option? She said, yeah. She said, QR code PJ. QR code PJ. Oh my goodness. TJ was so fed up about this Dallas conversation, he just dipped out, you guys. But yeah, I'm definitely. I think Dallas has the worst fan base. Just because they're living in their glory days, it gets to my freaking nerves. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. I hate the Dallas Cowboys fan base. I'm from Louisiana, and yeah, I agree on Michael's second worst fan base is San Francisco Niners. Y'all. The Niners are a horrible fan base. Hey, I know one thing. I'm probably never going to a Niners game. They like to fight out there, man. I don't go to games to fight. They like to fight out there, so I don't want none of that smoke, man. I don't want none of that smoke. I don't want none of that smoke from Niners fans. They love to go out there and fight people, man. So, best fan bases. Best fan bases. Obviously I'm being biased. So I say the Saints, so I'm not gonna say the Saints at all. But the best fan base, I heard that Buffalo's pretty damn good. I think Buffalo is a really good fan base. That's what I heard. Buffalo and Green Bay. I'll go Buffalo and the Packers. That's the two off the top of my head I think are really good fan bases. I don't really know too much about quote unquote fan bases and what they go through. But I tell you about the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco Niners, and I heard the Raiders also uh, don't have good fan bases, man. So who knows? Who knows, man? Uh, Travis, I would have thought the LA fan bases would have been the worst. I also say Miami because those cities, they don't seem that. Well, yeah, you're right. Hey, Atlanta, got you back on, TJ.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right, again.
Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta fan base, whether it's NBA, NFL, hockey, whatever you want to call it, when they had a hockey team out there, they're horrible. Miami as well. Heat, Dolphins, Miami fan bases, they suck. Marlins, they suck in Miami, bro. So yeah, but when I talk about fan bases, I mean fan bases that are like that get on your freaking nerves, right? I think Dallas Cowboy fan bases. I mean, they can go 2-15 this year. They can lose 15 games in a row. After that season, the next day, how about the Cowboys going to Super Bowl? I'm like, whoa, come on, man, y'all not that good. Michael's combination is real. We're all family. Yabo Pa says, have a good night, everyone. That's right, man. But you're right, though, LA doesn't care about football as well. Los Angeles fan bases, California fan bases don't really care, honestly. Look at the San Diego Chargers, right? There's a reason why there's no more San Diego team, right? There's a reason why all these teams, and it was weird for the Rams to go back to LA, but obviously they had issues with St. Louis. But thank God football is king, right, for these franchises, and thank God the Rams won the Super Bowl because that fan base is, the Rams. It's so bad. The Niners took over Los Angeles, y'all. If y'all didn't see that Sunday, look at it, man. That crowd was 80% 49ers fans. I'm not BSing. It was a bunch of red with a bunch of blue dots in there. I was like, what is going on? This cannot be SoFi Stadium, home of the Los Angeles Rams. No, it was the home of the San Francisco 49ers. It was crazy. Alicia Andrade is in the business of how y'all doing. Father Rama says, it's loyalty. But yeah, I think best fan bases, I'm going to go with Bills and Packers. From what I know, obviously not being biased. If I'm being biased, who that nation all day, baby? It's us.
Yeah, no, I agree with Cowboys. We actually bonded on our hatred for the same things of the Cowboys. It doesn't matter what they are. They're going to get primetime games just simply because they're the Cowboys. Like, they could suck. They're going to go, it's our year. But I do have to admit, the Philly fans.
I love them.
Yeah,
Philly fans are crazy.
I love them.
Philly
I
fans are
accept it.
crazy. They are so
Right.
loyal to fault, but I like Philly fans because they keep it real though. They're not afraid
Yeah.
to
No.
boo. They're not afraid to let you know, bro, you suck, man.
What was it? We made it to the Super Bowl in February, and we had one bad quarter this at home, and we were booing Hurts. It's just like, come on, we are arseholes. So sorry for my
I
language.
know
We
you're
are
good.
truly
You're good.
arseholes.
Solar
But
flares in the building. What's up, solar flares?
yeah, it's but Miami's getting a bit of hate because obviously, did you hear about the guy that was beaten to death in a
When?
man was beaten to death in the stands in the Miami New England game. New England Patriots fan was beaten to death by a Miami fan
Oh
in the stands.
no!
And no one stopped him to stop essentially a beating. They just recorded
Boy,
it.
when you let sports really get to you, huh? Someone should have told the guy, it's
Yeah,
just a game, my brother. You can't be
it's
killing
just a
folks out there.
game.
Good God Almighty!
Yeah,
It's like those guys that like buy these TVs and they break them. I'm like, you or get the jerseys and burn them. Like
yeah.
you
When
do
people do
realize,
that, they have way too much money.
yeah, or way less brain cells. Like, bro, you pay for that, man, or someone paid for that to get it to you. It wasn't that player himself. Why you burning the
Yeah,
jersey? Sell
I
it.
know, absolutely
Get rid of
madness.
it. Do something. No, I'm gonna
But
burn it. For what? Tough guy.
yeah,
You better punch a TV. That's dumb.
but
Now you gotta buy another TV.
going back to the Eagles fans and like how we won the NFC Championship, they had to grease up the poles because essentially we were burning the city to death, city to the ground. It reminds me so much of like England fans, like just general England fans when the World Cup, the soccer team does well in the World Cup.
Yeah. And there goes TJ, all that excitement about the Eagles, and he left again, y'all. He was just so excited, he popped in the thin air. But it's okay, though, because we're about to wrap up anyways. He says, OMG. Get out the house, TJ. Get out the house, man. Nah, it's all good, man. But we'll try and get TJ in one more time, y'all. Any last questions, y'all, before we wrap up, man? Any last questions, y'all, before we wrap things up, man? We are here. I want to thank y'all for the love and the support, man. Obviously, I'm a diehard Saints fan. I think the Saints have the best. Like, when it comes down to our city and our team, right? I think the Eagles, the Saints, we have so much close ties to New Orleans as a Saints fan. One, our name is the New Orleans Saints. I mean, I think it just fits. Uh, one of those rare names that fits the city or the state. Uh, but yeah, oh yeah, fans fighting. I don't get it all the time. Now, I've been to football games. I never had any issue at a baseball game ever. I never had an issue at football games, but I've seen things happen at football games where guys get drunk, they talk a lot of crap, and it kind of gets annoying because I paid to watch the game, not paid to listen to Bernie and Fred argue for 30 minutes about who freaking sucks, right? Uh, so I get that, man, but I hate the fact that people go out there and want to hurt folks look, just enjoy the freaking game. Can we enjoy the game? That's all I'm asking. Let's enjoy the game, man. So, that's it, man. But any more questions, y'all? We're gonna wrap things up. I'll bring TJ in one last time. We'll bring in TJ one last time. We'll give a shout out to everybody, man. Our time to wrap it up. I love you guys, and we're gonna get ready for a great week 3. I think the early morning games are gonna be fantastic. I cannot wait to watch those games. I probably won't call it anything until Sunday Night Football. And I decided to not do any red zones until my Saints either play uh, on next Monday or Sunday night, or if the Saints play on a bye week. They are on have a bye week, or they play like a 3 o'clock game. So we're gonna do red zone like probably week 7 is when the Saints are playing on Thursday night football. So we'll do week 7, and after that, I think week 7 and week 11, I'm gonna do NFL red zone. So I apologize for
Fair enough.
being like we don't want to do the red zone. I don't know. Yeah, well I know for sure week 7 and week 11, y'all, the NFL season. Any last words, TJ? So we got you back.
I want to apologise for all the technical difficulties. I'll try and get this sorted, either plug it in or maybe go home, but that means I have to be here once the stream over to 10 minutes. I'll work it out. I apologise for the Wi-Fi.
You're good,
Like,
man. You're good.
it's this week and next week, and then I'm back home because they should be back from Greece and have to return to the normal reality. Us hard-working folk here off there enjoying themselves. But yeah, I apologise for that, and I hope everyone has a great week.
Nah, you're good, man. We some troopers, man. Made it work out. Sorry for starting off late, but hey, we made it through, y'all. You guys have a blessed rest of your day, and we're out of here, y'all. I cannot wait to see you guys next Tuesday
Ooh,
for episode number 8.
What's your hot take?
I said my hot take. Shador
Oh,
Sanders going to
That's
the Broncos this year.
That's it. Yeah, fair.
What's yours?
I reckon the defensive player is going to win MVP this year. I reckon if Micah Parsons keeps up what he's doing, he's going to win MVP.
Hey, I like that. Micah Parsons MVP. Okay. Hey, right now he's on pace for it, though. You got Micah Parsons looking good. You got T.J. Watt looking good. Myles Garrett looking good. Got a lot of these D linemen, man, really looking good so far to start this year off. If there's gonna be one guy, it's gonna be Parsons, though. If it's one guy, it's gonna be Parsons. He's getting like a sack and a half a game right now, man. And
he's on fire.
Yeah, I like the hot take. I like that. All right, well, we'll go over our hot takes all the time, y'all. And at the end of the year, we'll go back over them and see what's going on. PJ, the last words. She said winners only, y'all. Let's get it. All right, y'all. Hey, for the homegirl PJ and the big homie TJ Tracy, I'm your host, Carlos Clay, and this is another episode of Tuesdays with TJ, episode number 7. We'll see you guys next week for episode number 8, you guys, for our week 3 action and our week 4 picks and predictions, y'all. Y'all have a blessed night. I'm off on Wednesday and Thursday. No Thursday night game. I'm not calling the Giants and the freaking Niners. Not calling that game. I'll be back on Friday, probably for some baseball, you guys. Gotta do baseball, man. And then, of course, Saturday and Sunday we have our college and NFL. So I love you guys. Have a blessed night. Me and TJ will be back on next Tuesday to talk about week 3 and week 4 coming up. You guys have a blessed night. And as always, sports fans, you guys know what time it is. Stay smart. Stay uneducated. Peace. Later, mama. All right, TJ, have a good night, brother.
Have a great night, everyone.
Thank y'all. Have a good night.